Ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears and your eyes. Diva Divine Light, live from Brooklyn, New York.
Know your lane for what you saying, yo. Silly with my 9 million with the dilly, yo. When I be on my yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club, every while in the studio. You don't wanna violate, nigga, really and truly, yo. My main thug, nigga named Julio, he moody, yo. I'm a nigga that'll slap me with the tulio. Bitch, nigga scared to death, act fruity, yo. Fuck that, look at shorty, she a little cutie, yo. The way you shake it, make me wanna get all in the booty, yo. You know your lane for what you saying, yo.
Diva Divine Light.
Really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in a place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in a place to be. If you.
You're watching Diva, the Divine Light. A fun-loving, caring, passionate person who talks about sex, celebrity, and real-life issues, and even abuse. So hit that like button and make sure you share the show.
Really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in a place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in a place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in a place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in a place to be. If you.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide. On the combo.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Who's in the building? Hammer Time Funk. What's up, lady? Doing the roll call. What's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing, Hammer Time? Ty Robotoko. What's up? What's up, lady? How are you, baby? What's up to the Oko family that's in the building? Everybody in the bushes. What's up? Hey, Bev. What's up, lady? How are you? Nanya. What's up, Nanya? How you doing, my baby girl? Hey, Cherie. What's up, lady? Good evening to you too, sweetheart. Hey, Take R. Kelly. What's up, my lady? What's up? What's up? Eva. What's up, Granny? What's up, beautiful lady? Hey, Jacqueline. Jacqueline. What's up, Jackie? Hi, mama. Who else is in here? Shorty. Shorty Rara. What's up, Shorty? What's up, beautiful? Saying what's up to everybody in the building. I miss all you guys. Hey, Queen. What's up, beautiful? Levi. Stop. I'm not congratulating shit. I'm gonna congratulate. Let's congratulate Bonjean on her new motion. Yes. She is going to do what she's supposed to do. Sue the BOP and Tasha K. That's the only thing that can be done. And I said it a million times, Levi. You talking about people going to jail. Ain't nobody going to no goddamn jail. Stop. Okay? What's going to happen is they're going to be sued. I said it a million times. All righty, Levi. What's up, Levi? Levi for Kelly's in the building. What's up, Levi? Your cousin? Oh, man, that is funny as hell. let's say congratulations. Let's not be haters, because I'm not no hater. Okay, I just hate the shit R. Kelly did. See, it's a difference. I don't hate R. Kelly. I just hate the shit he did, because what he did wasn't right. Period. Point blank. Period. No matter what the fuck is going on. Okay. Yeah, Levi from up top. He up top. He up top of the mountains, the oceans, and the sea, right? Right, Levi, when your cousin getting out? 2045? Okay. Just making sure you remember that. 2045, okay? So, T-Bam, what's up, baby? So, Mr. R. Kelly, his attorney, Miss Bonjean, has put in a complaint against the BOP, as we know it to be the Bureau of Prisons, okay? BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, okay? As well as BOP officers, plural, because she has John Doe and Jane Does, okay, whoever they may be. It's about 60 officers, but she's trying to figure out who Officer A is, who conspired with Tasha K to cause harm to R. Kelly. That's what this complaint is alleging. So, yeah, where you see tears, Levi? Because I don't see tears. Where you see tears at? Oh, he said Ty and Tears are player haters. Pendejo. You pendejo coming over here because he can't player haters. Okay, now, Shorty. Actually, it wasn't denied because she never put in a formal complaint. What she did do was she made a motion in the middle of the trial for Chicago, speaking about the BOP officer and the emails, because she wanted to find out about the warrant and exactly what was going on and who was Officer A and what exactly did Officer A give to Tasha K. What type of information was given? So that's what was going on. That was all that happened. And the government had replied to the motion to compel to get information from the government about this BOP situation. Now, what happened was the government said that this situation was already closed, that they had closed the warrant up and the investigation because, come to find out, there was no real foul, no harm. But according to Bonjean here, she's saying that she's filing a civil suit because there were some violations to his privacy. And she's alleging that Tasha K and the BOP officer They did this for monetary gain as well as clout. So R. Kelly is owed money because Tasha K made money, I guess, off of the videos. So let's read into this. Okay. Let's read into this and see exactly what she is alleging, right? Hey, wifey, what's up, mama? Fucking tie. Oh, wow. Mommy, don't worry. I know it's like, what time in the morning for you? It's 5 hours over there? 5 hours ahead? So what we got? 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, baby, don't worry. Just listen and fall asleep and then rewind later. Whatever you got to do, Eva. Yeah, that super fan is something else, I tell you. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so let's get to it. No, it's my window. Hold on, guys. Okay, open it. And then go here. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Sorry about that.
I do like ratings, so just let me know if you like it. Be careful. Oh, they love to a little bit, but yeah, bite the score. Yeah.
Okay, you guys see my screen, right? All right. Okay, sound check is good. Yeah, he really did, Ty. I see your comment. I got my phone in front of me today. So now comes the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois' Eastern Division. Robert S. Kelly is the plaintiff versus the United States of America, unknown BOP Officer A, unknown John and Jane Doe, BOP officers, LaTasha Kebe, also known as Tasha K. So the complaint says Plaintiff Robert S. Kelly, by his undersigned attorney for his complaint against the United States of America, unknown BOP Officer A, Defendant BOP Officer A, unknown John and Jane Doe BOP officers, collectively BOP defendants, and LaTasha K. Kebe, also known as Tasha K. So the introduction starts off and says that the plaintiff sues the United States of America, okay, the unknown BOP officer, also known as Officer A, as well as the unknown John and Jane Doe BOP officers, and LaTasha Kebe for negligence, invasion of privacy, conversion, civil conspiracy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and willful and wanton conduct brought under the Federal Tort Claims Act, the FTCA. Plaintiff also brings suit against the defendant, BOP Officer A, for violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Now, the Federal Torts Claims Act, the FTCA, is a law that allows individuals to sue the federal government for injuries or damages caused by the negligence or wrongdoing of its employees. So, under the FTCA, under this Tort Claims Act, someone, an individual, can sue the federal government that is caused by the negligence or wrongdoing of its employees. Okay? So that's what the FTCA is. The Federal Tort Claims Act allows people to sue the government for damages that were caused by negligence or wrongdoing of their employees. Okay? So that's what that is. And as far as them talking about the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, the CFFA is a federal law that prohibits unauthorized access to computers and networks. Now, the CFAA, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, it applies to every computer connected to the internet and non-network computers used by the federal government or financial institutions. So the CFAA, the Computer Fraud Abuse Act, has been used to convict hackers, but also criticized for being abused by prosecutors in some cases. So Bonjean is also making a claim that there was some type of abuse being done by the prosecutors in R. Kelly's case. Okay? So the plaintiff also brings suit against the defendant, BOP Officer A, for violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Plaintiff is a high-profile prisoner of the Bureau of Prisons, the BOP. He is a Grammy award-winning recording artist and a nationally recognized celebrity. As with all prisoners, particularly because of plaintiff's status, the United States of America, through the BOP, had a duty to protect plaintiff and his private and sensitive information, to ensure that its employees did not exploit plaintiff for financial gain or for any other reason. So she's saying that The BOP had a duty to protect R. Kelly's private and sensitive information, as well as to ensure that the employees of the BOP do not exploit R. Kelly for financial gain or for any other reason. So, somewhere along the line, she's saying there was some type of money exchange, or the people were getting paid to do these things, or they tried to exploit R. Kelly's situation just because, or for any other reason, right? The defendant, United States of America, breached its duty of care to the plaintiff when it allowed countless BOP officers to access plaintiff's confidential information without any legal basis to do so. The defendant, the United States of America, knew that the defendant, BOP Officer A, and other defendant John and Jane Doe's BOP officers routinely accessed plaintiff's private information from its systems and divulged private information to third parties for monetary gain, clout, or simple harassment. Now, because of the United States of America's breach, at least 60 BOP officers made unauthorized access to plaintiffs' sensitive, confidential, and private information maintained by the BOP on its electronic system known as TrueView. Some of those BOP officers either shared and or sold that information to third parties, including members of the media and witnesses in plaintiff's criminal prosecution. So now she's saying that the BOP officer, right, shared or sold that information to the third party, like Tasha K, who is the member of the media, and witnesses in plaintiff's criminal prosecution. And we know what she's saying there about that Tasha K shared it with Jane Doe number 5's parent, allegedly. Right. Now, Tasha K did say that she shared this information with Angelo on one of her lives. Now, how true is that? We don't know. That's why we're going into this investigation here. This is why Bongina is doing this, because she wants to know if these things really did happen and who got what and what exactly was shared. So the defendant, unknown BOP Officer A, accessed plaintiff's private BOP records, the TrueView records, including email communications, visiting lists, inmate trust account information, and recorded phone calls with third parties and plaintiff's attorneys without authority to do so. The information was private and concerned personal matters. It was not public information. After unlawfully accessing the foregoing protected information, Defendant BOP Officer A unlawfully downloaded the information and sold said information to Defendant Kebe, aka Tasha K, So now she's saying that Officer A unlawfully downloaded information and sold this information to Tasha K. Now, Tasha K, if you're listening to me, girl, you need to speak about this. You need to let the world know that you did not pay for any information. You need to show some receipts or something. So the BOP officer unlawfully downloaded the information and sold the information to Defendant Tasha K, a popular YouTube blogger with over 1 million subscribers, who published the private information publicly without identifying how she received it. Now, she did say how she received it. She said she got an email from somebody in Cook County, and now she got the plug to R. Kelly. She did say how she received it. Then says Defendant Kebe, Tasha K, rallied her massive following to harass the plaintiff with the use of the stolen information and created chaos in plaintiff's personal life. Now, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Hold up. How is she going to say that Tasha K rallied massive followers to harass R. Kelly with the use of the stolen information? Who was harassing R. Kelly? Who was harassing R. Kelly about the information that Tasha K had, about the emails and about how he wrote and things like that? So because Tasha K was making fun of R. Kelly's writing and his letters and how much money was he getting put on his books, she's trying to say that the massive following harassed R. Kelly. How did that happen? I want to know. Who was harassing R. Kelly? And who created chaos in his personal life? The only one who created chaos in his personal life was Tasha K, not the massive following. What is she talking about? Then she states, even using the information to influence witnesses in plaintiff's Eastern District of New York criminal prosecution. Now, how do you know for sure that she actually used this information just so she can influence the witness? Did she herself actually go to Azriel and to the parents and say, look, this is the reason why you have to work with the government? Because Joy wrote this letter to R. Kelly, and because Joy said this, and because Joy said that, and I know that you're upset and the visiting list is changed and you're not on it and you won't be on it for like 3 months, and so he's lying to you and you took the money from behind the couch, and yeah, and go girl and take that money and run with it. And like, what is she talking about? Right? Then she says, on information and belief. Now, she says here, this is a very important word here that she used right here. She said, on information and belief, the stolen information was shared with and used by prosecutors from the United States Attorney's Officer as a tool to influence witnesses against the plaintiff. Now, when they use that term, lawyers, upon information and belief, it is a phrase that is commonly used in legal proceedings, such as complaints and answers during a lawsuit. Okay? It is also sometimes used during affidavits under oath, also declarations under penalty of perjury. Now, the phrase is used to indicate that the individual making the statement, like Bonjean, she's making that statement, right? So the individual making the statement is only stating what they have been told and believed to be true. So that statement upon information and belief is saying that she is only stating what she believes to be true because of what she was told. So in that statement there, she's letting you know that she really doesn't have any real knowledge. She lacks personal knowledge of this situation. So she's using this statement because she is not certain about the particular facts about the case, but she believes it to be true based on secondhand information. So, what I think about this lawsuit, it's going to be thrown out, dismissed. That's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not any type of legal aid or anything of that sort in the field. I'm just going with common sense and knowledge of the case myself. And I don't think this is going to go through. Sorry, Levi. Try again. So she states again, I'm going to reread it, that on information and belief, right? The stolen information was shared with and used by prosecutors from the United States Attorney's Office as a tool to influence witnesses against the plaintiff. So this information right there about the United States Attorney, she is not sure about this statement. This is just secondhand information that was given to her, which she believes that could be true. Okay? And also the statement that the sale of the information yielded profits that neither defendant BOP Officer A nor defendant Tasha K were entitled to, and which belonged to the plaintiff, if anything. If anyone, I'm sorry. So she's saying that in her belief, on the shared information, secondhand information that she got, that there might have been a sale, okay, which yielded profits. So, in other words, the profits that Tasha K made from her video, okay, or if there was any type of payment made to the BOP officer, okay, neither one of those were entitled to get any money from the information they shared. And if anybody was supposed to get any money or any gain profits, they were supposed to go to R. Kelly. So whatever Tasha K made off that video should have been R. Kelly's money, because he's entitled to it, not her. That's crazy, right? Wow. The Department of Justice Office of the Inspector General Investigation initiated a secret investigation into the unauthorized access of plaintiff sensitive information. The department did not inform plaintiff of the investigation and never has. Plaintiff later learned that the investigation resulted in the issuance of a search warrant for a BOP computer used by Defendant BOP Officer A and forensic analysis of the computer. So, according to an affidavit of Special Agent Matt Lau of the Department of Justice, later obtained by plaintiff's attorney, which is Ms. Bonjean, there was probable cause that existed to believe that Defendant BOP Officer A committed a criminal violation of the 18 USC 1030 A to B. That is unauthorized access of a computer to obtain information from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. No charges were brought against Defendant BOP Officer A, and the government has refused to reveal any details about the investigation, including the identity of Officer A. In short, there has been a cover up of the rampant BOP misconduct that is ongoing. Even after this so called investigation, unlawful access of plaintiffs' TrueView records continued. So, even after being put on notice of repeated violations of the CFAA by BOP employees, the United States failed to protect plaintiff and breached its duty to protect his private and sensitive information. So, for example, defendant unknown John or Jane Doe BOP officer made an unauthorized access to plaintiff's TrueView records and obtained information about plaintiff's trust account funds in August of 2022. Now, that unknown defendant, BOP officer, divulged the information to a journalist for the Washington Post, who published the information. Now, this officer divulged in information to a journalist for the Washington Post. I don't remember anything in the Washington Post about this at all. And she's stating that the Washington Post published personal information of R. Kelly's. So not only did this officer allegedly not only did she give information to Tasha K, but she also gave information to a journalist for the Washington Post. And this journalist published personal information. I got to try to see if I can find this article. Now, it continues to say that the publication not only placed plaintiff in a false light, falsely suggesting he was concealing his resources. The monies were actually generous gifts from his loyal fan base. So this journalist in the Washington Post had spoke about his resources and talked about how R. Kelly had money hidden and that he was concealing his money from the government. So the Washington Post must have made a article about that. But Bonjean is like, the money that was there, that was put in there, was actually put in from his fans. And she also states that the money resulted in the Department of Justice confiscating nearly all of plaintiff's monies held in his prison trust account, which was about over $25,000. So plaintiff was forced to pay for legal services to litigate the unjustified taking of the money, an issue that is now pending for the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Plaintiff maintains that the DOJ had no authority to confiscate those funds, which would have not occurred in any event if the information was not leaked to the public by a defendant, unknown John or Jane Doe BOP officer. So Bonjean is saying that the DOJ would never had touched R. Kelly's money in his account, in his trust account, if the Washington Post didn't put out a statement falsely accusing R. Kelly of hiding money. So this is what she's saying here. So now the plaintiff suffered a multitude of loss and damages as a result of the defendant, United States of America's negligence and the torts committed by defendant BOP Officer A and other unknown John and Jane Doe BOP officers, including but not limited to legal fees and emotional and psychological distress. So she's saying that because of all of this and these officers, R. Kelly has suffered. Okay? Because he's had to pay legal fees and because he is emotionally and psychologically stressed out because of this. Then she states that separately, losses in excess of $5,000 occurred as a result of the CFAA violation committed by defendant BOP Officer A. The misconduct resulted in an internal investigation by the BOP, an investigation by the DOJ OIG, and both the seizure and examination of a BOP computer hard drive. So now she's going to explain the jurisdiction and the venue and why there's jurisdiction over this matter. It's the proper jurisdiction. Okay, I'm not going to go over that. I'm not going to read all that. Okay. I got to read some of it at least. All right, so the jurisdiction and venue. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over this matter pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1331, and that this action arises under the laws of the United States of America and is premised on the acts and omission of the defendants acting under color of federal law. The court further has subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 1030G, which permits an individual who suffers damage by reason of a violation of the CFAA to bring a private cause of action. The action is timely filed where it is brought within 2 years of the discovery of the damage. So the court further has subject matter jurisdiction over this matter pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1346B, where plaintiff sues the defendant of the United States of America for money damages for injury caused by the negligent and wrongful acts and employees of the government while acting within the course and scope of their office or employment, under the circumstances where the defendant is a private person, would be liable to the plaintiff. Jurisdiction is founded upon federal law, is proper in that this action is premised on federal causes of action under the Federal Tort Claims Act, the FTCA, pursuant to the 28 U.S.C. 2671. Now, pursuant to the FTCA, plaintiff filed a notice of claim on November 14th of 2022 and served his claim to the appropriate federal agency for administrative settlement under the FTCA, requesting $1 million or more. So under the Federal Torts Civil Act, they requested $1 million. Okay? But by letter dated June 15, 2023, the plaintiff's claim was denied in writing by the North Central Regional Office of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and such denial was sent by certified mail to the plaintiff's counsel. Claim number TRT NCR 2023-02361. Now, this action is timely pursuant to the 28 U.S.C. 2401B, in that it was presented to the appropriate federal agency within 2 years of accrual, and this action was filed within 6 months of the receipt of the certified letter sent by the federal agency denying the claim. This court also enjoys supplemental jurisdiction, if necessary, under the 28 U.S.C. 1367 in connection with claims against Defendant Kebe. So Defendant Tasha K, who, if not acting as a contractor for the federal government. Now, okay, so when they were talking about that the stolen information was shared with the prosecutors, right? And that the prosecutors used that as a tool to influence the witnesses against the plaintiff. The sale of the information yielded profits. So they're saying that they use this as a tool to influence Jane Doe number 5 against R. Kelly. So the defendant, the BOP officer, and defendant Tasha K, as well as the government, all kind of conspired in a sense against R. Kelly to put him in jail. More or less, this is what she's trying to say. So, yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Now, when Bonjean was talking about that the BOP officers, that they committed certain torts of invasion of privacy, right? Conversion, civil conspiracy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and willful and wanton misconduct, right? Now, the invasion of privacy tort, right? It is a tort that involves the violation of an individual's right to privacy, okay? And it can occur in several ways, including intrusion upon seclusion, public disclosure of private facts, false light, and appropriation of name or likeness. Now, the conversion tort, that involves the wrongful exercise of control over another person's property. It occurs when someone intentionally interferes with the property of another person without their consent. Okay? Then the civil conspiracy tort, that involves two or more people agreeing to commit an unlawful act. It occurs when two or more people agree to commit a tortuous act and then take some action to further that agreement. So, an intentional infliction of emotional distress is a tort that involves extreme and outrageous conduct that causes severe emotional distress to another person. Then there is the willful and wanton misconduct, which is a tort that involves reckless disregard for the safety of others. It occurs when someone acts with a conscious disregard for the safety of others, and that the conduct results in harm to another person. So, what harm was caused to R. Kelly? What was the extreme and outrageous conduct that caused R. Kelly severe emotional distress? And the civil conspiracy where two or more people, the government, Tasha K, and the BOP officer, right? That's the conspiracy because it involves two or more people, right? And she's saying that the civil conspiracy tort involves this group agreeing to commit an unlawful act. or they committed a tortuous act. Okay, and they agreed upon it and took some action to further agree on that. And then the conversion one has to do with someone intentionally interfering with the property of another person without consent. Whereas the BOP officers looked through his information, right? Took his personal property out, this information. They interfered with the process of his property without R. Kelly's consent or without consent of the government. And of course, the invasion of privacy goes to where the public disclosure of his private facts or making false light of things and his likeliness. So, so the government, as we know, she's blaming them for negligence because they're responsible for their employees. And their employees were wrong in doing what they did because they caused R. Kelly to suffer some harm or loss, okay, resulting in liability. So he's suing these people for liability for causing harm and committing torturous acts against him. Now, R. Kelly, in this case, he must prove that the defendants, Tasha K, the government, and the BOP officers, that their actions caused him harm. Bonjean has to prove this. That R. Kelly, because of all of this, there was harm. Because of their actions, there was harm that was caused to R. Kelly. And Bonjean must also prove that the defendants, Tasha K, the BOP officers, and the government, they had a duty to act with care and to prevent that harm from happening to R. Kelly. Now, if the plaintiff can prove these elements, then and only then will R. Kelly be entitled to any compensation for his loss. This information and this civil suit is not going to change his conviction. It's not. These emails and all of this is not going to vacate R. Kelly's conviction. This that's happening is just a lawsuit because he feels he was wronged, because he wasn't protected. The government was negligent. Okay? So let's Okay, let me close this stuff. Let me close some of the stuff I have up here. I have a lot of things open, so I just want to close some of this. Some of the stuff that I've already explained to you guys. Okay. All right, now. So now we're going to go to the parties. We have the plaintiff, Robert S. Kelly, who is a 56-year-old Chicago native. He is indisputably, I can't even believe she put that word in there. She sounded like such a groupie when she did that. He is indisputably the king of R&B. He is currently an inmate incarcerated in the Brutner Federal Correctional Center in Brutner, North Carolina. At times relevant to this complaint, plaintiff was an inmate at the MCC in Chicago, Illinois, which is the Metropolitan Correctional Center. The defendant, United States of America, is subject to suit for injury caused by the negligent and wrongful acts and omission of employees of the government while acting within the course and scope of their office and employment. Under the circumstances where the defendant, if a private person, would be liable to the plaintiff pursuant to the FTCA. So at all times, material to this action, unknown BOP officer, known as Officer A, was a federal BOP disciplinary hearing officer and law enforcement official employed by the BOP with access to the BOP True Views system. Although plaintiff does not know the true identity of Officer A, the BOP does. She is the officer identified in the search warrant application and affidavit of Agent Matt Lau. Now, that was provided to plaintiff by the United States Attorney's Office in June 22 during plaintiff's prosecution in the Northern District, Illinois. At all times, material to this action, unknown John and Jane Doe, BOP officers, were BOP officers assigned to the Chicago MCC and perhaps other BOP institutions with access to the BOP's True View system, although plaintiffs does not know the identities of the 60 different BOP officers who made unauthorized access to his confidential information. The BOP does. Plaintiff sues each and every BOP officer who accessed his confidential information without authority and whose identities are available from the BOP. So, Monjean is suing each and every BOP officer who accessed his confidential information without authority and whose identities are available from the BOP. At all times, material to this action, LaTasha Kebe, aka Tasha K, is a resident of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Kebe is a popular YouTube host with a YouTube channel called Unwind with Tasha K. She broadcasts content to 1.3 million subscribers across the country, including in Chicago, Illinois. So now we're going to go into the facts. Plaintiff was arrested in the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, the NDIL, on July 11th of 2019, in connection with a 13-count indictment, United States versus Kelly, 19 CR 567. Shortly thereafter, plaintiff was separately indicted in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York, the EDNY, in connection with RICO charges brought under case number 19CR286. After his arrest, plaintiff was detained in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago, the MCC, for nearly 2 years until he was transferred to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the MDC, to face trial in the Eastern District of New York case in and around June 21st of 2021. During this period of time, plaintiff was a pretrial detainee. While detained in the MCC in and around January of 2020, plaintiff's longtime girlfriend, Jane Doe, number 5, began behaving in a hostile and accusatory fashion toward the plaintiff without explanation. Jane Doe was furious with plaintiff and unexpectedly began causing stress and conflict in the relationship. These arguments related to money issues, romantic issues, and other highly personal issues. Plaintiff later learned that in and around that time, Jane Doe number 5 abruptly began cooperating with the government, which led to her becoming the government's star witness against him in the Eastern District of New York prosecution. In and around that time, Defendant Kebe, aka Tasha K, a popular YouTube blogger, began publishing information to her 1.1 million subscribers and other viewers' private information about the plaintiff, to which she should not have had access. Defendant Tasha K did not reveal how she received said confidential information. Just by the way of example, on November 7th of 2019, Defendant Tasha K posted a YouTube video titled, R. Kelly Can't Control His Girlfriends While Behind Bars. Tasha K told her viewers that the information came from a phone tap somewhere. Kebe disclosed information that appeared to come from plaintiff's prison calls with Jane Doe and his girlfriend, Joyce Savage. Kebe appeared to disclose private and personal information about plaintiff's romantic relationships. Defendant Kebe proceeded to divulge to her YouTube viewers the contents of plaintiff's prison phone calls with his girlfriends and others, email communications about his private life and legal issues with numerous people, visitor logs, and trust account information on numerous other occasions. Again, without disclosing from where she received the information or how she received the information. Plaintiff was incarcerated and had no ability to watch Kebe's YouTube channel, Tasha K's YouTube channel, or learn the specific information that was being said by Defendant Tasha K. At one point, plaintiff visited with Jane Doe and was shocked and confused when Jane Doe accused him of making certain statements concerning his personal life that were only shared with plaintiff's lawyers at the time. Jane Doe refused to divulge how she received the information, but claimed that she was privy to plaintiff's conversations with his attorneys. Now, plaintiff had no idea how certain private information was making its way into the public domain. In early 2020, the BOP went on a complete lockdown as a result of the pandemic for a year. Attorney visits were conducted entirely by phone call and eventually Zoom visits and face-to-face visits did not resume until late of 2022. So it is unclear how many of plaintiff's attorney-client communications were shared with third parties by Defendant BOP Officer A or why those communications were being recorded at all. Now, in June of 2021, Plaintiff was transferred to the MDC in Brooklyn, New York, to stand trial in his RICO prosecution. His federal RICO trial commenced on August 9th of 2021. A jury returned a verdict against him on September 27th of 2021. Plaintiff's current counsel filed an appearance in the Eastern District of New York case in October of 2021 for the purpose of handling post-trial motions and the eventual appeal. Her role expanded after plaintiff's original trial lawyers withdrew from the Eastern District of New York case by January of 2022. So, undersigned counsel filed an appearance in the Northern District case on February 18th of 2022. And with her legal team began preparing for plaintiff's Northern District trial scheduled to commence in August. After counsel's legal team received information about the unauthorized and illegal taking or selling of plaintiff's private information, counsel sought discovery from the government. On June 14th of 2022, attorneys for the government produced to plaintiff's counsel an application and affidavit for a search warrant under the case caption in the matter of the search of the HP desktop computer bearing serial number, and then it says the number. The materials did not include plaintiff's name or any BOP officer name. Neither plaintiff nor his counsel had access to the anonymously filed search warrant application and affidavit until it was produced by the government on June 14th of 2022. The government refused to provide any additional information despite plaintiff's request. That was when she put in the motion to compel, where she was requesting information from the government. Now, according to the materials produced in June of 2022, Special Agent of the Department of Justice of the Inspector General, Matt Lau, executed an affidavit in support of a search warrant for a computer located in the Northern District of Illinois related to a violation of the 18 U.S.C. 1030 A2B. That is unauthorized access of a computer by obtaining information from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Now, Agent Lau averred that the OIG received information from the BOP that unknown BOP Officer A was suspected of accessing sensitive law information maintained on the BOP's electronic system and provided that sensitive information to an individual who then released the information on social media platforms. Specifically, the warden of the MCC in Chicago reported an allegation of staff misconduct to the BOP Office of Internal Affairs. When the MCC staff became aware of the unknown BOP officers, including Defendant BOP Officer A, had stolen plaintiff's sensitive information from the BOP's electronic system, known as the TrueView system, without authority to do so. So the BOP TrueView system is an application that contains information on inmates, including inmate emails, inmate telephone calls, inmate visitation lists, and inmate funds. The TrueView system contains information from various other applications and systems existing on the BOP's network infrastructure. So the information available on TrueView includes information from BOP application, TruePhone, the inmate telephone system, which houses recordings of inmates' telephone calls. Give me a second, guy. I got to take a break, guys. Got to use the restroom real quick. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Hey, West Coast. What's up, everybody that jumped into the chat? Thank you for becoming a new member, lovely ladies. LaShawn, Purple, K-Love. What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How are you doing? Daughter of the Most High. Hi, baby. What's up, my love? Hey, Miss April. How are you, sweetheart? Okay. He's not suing Jeremiah Farmer at all. No. He already, Greenberg did whatever he did with that. Farmer admitted to whatever he had to admit to. And then Farmer was shipped up to the jail to another place. I forgot what facility. I think they were shipping him to a facility in Arizona, something like that. And Farmer had to admit that he did what he did. And R. Kelly still didn't get out of jail. So that was the end of that at that time. All right, give me a second, guys. I'll be right back.
You are watching Diva Divine Light.
You can fuck with me if these red bottoms, these bloody shoes. Hit the scoop, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick. Cut every nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Now I gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch. I make bloody move. Now she say, gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. Just a party, I'm there, I can play. I be in and out the game so much, I know they tired of me. Honest.
You are watching Diva Divine Light.
You can fuck with me if these red bottoms, these bloody shoes. Hit the scoop, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick. Cut every nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Now I gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch. I make bloody move. Now she say, gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. Just a party, I'm there, I can play. I be in and out the game so much, I know they tired of me. Honest.
You are watching Diva Divine Light.
You can fuck with me if these red bottoms, these bloody shoes. Hit the scoop, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick. Cut every nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Now I gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch. I make bloody move. Now she say, gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. Just a party, I'm there, I can play. I be in and out the game so much, I know they tired of me. Honest.
You are watching Diva Divine Light. You
can fuck with me if these times. These is bloody shoes. Hit the scoop, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose, and I'm quick. Cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Now I gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch. I make bloody move. Now she say, gon' do what a hoop. Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. Just a party, I'm there, I get paid. I be in and out the gang so much, I know they tired of me. Honest, honest.
All right, guys. Thank you for being so patient. I'm back. All right. So where were we? Okay. So Agent Lau's investigation showed that unknown BOP Officer A had not only made unauthorized access to plaintiff's TrueView records, but stole information from the records, downloaded information, and then divulged that information to YouTuber, blogger, Defendant Tasha K. Defendant Tasha K then revealed that stolen and sensitive information to the general public and to specific third parties, including Jane Doe number 5. On information and belief, there goes that word again. On information and belief, because of the information that she found secondhand, this is not a fact, but this is what she could believe according to what she heard secondhand, that Tasha K and other unknown individuals bought the information from defendant unknown BOP officer A. The information constituted inter alia, which means among other things, right? Right. So, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, here we go. So the information constituted inter alia, which means among other things, private conversations between plaintiff, so between R. Kelly and Jane Doe number 5 and his girlfriend Joy Savage. So the information that was constituted was private conversations between Kelly, Az, and Joy, and the communications related to personal and private relationship matters, financial issues, and even attorney-client matters. Although plaintiff did not know at the time how Jane Doe obtained the information, when plaintiff had the opportunity to learn of the contents of Agent Lau's affidavit, he deduced that the information had been stolen by the unknown defendant BOP officer, sold to defendant Tasha K, and then exploited for profit when defendant Tasha K divulged it in the public and to other third parties, including Jane Doe number 5. Defendant Tasha K recently admitted on one of her broadcasts that she did obtain the information from defendant BOP Officer A, and not only disseminated the information publicly, but provided additional information to Jane Doe number 5 and others, including Jane Doe's family members, for the purpose of interfering with plaintiff's criminal prosecution. Oh my God. Levi, you happy? You happy this motion's in there? It's going to be denied. Denied. Now, the release of this private information on the internet created a feeding frenzy about R. Kelly's personal life, his relationship with Jane Doe number 5 and Joy Savage, and resulted in the termination of certain important relationships that R. Kelly, enjoyed with other individuals. Wait a minute. She said the release of this information created a feeding frenzy, y'all, about R. Kelly's personal life, his relationship with Az and Joy, and the best part of it is all of that resulted in the termination, meaning he lost certain important relationships that he enjoyed with other people. So all of that feeding frenzy caused people to stop talking to him, or for him to stop talking to certain people that he enjoyed talking to, that he no longer talks to, guys. And the reason why he's no longer talking to these people is because of what happened on Tasha K's live. Because the relationships with Jane Doe number 5 and Joy. Now, the unauthorized release of the information led to a physical fight between Jane Doe number 5 and Joy Savage that made national news. The theft of thousands of dollars and chaos and discord in R. Kelly's life. Furthermore, because information about plaintiff's visiting list and trust fund balances became public news, plaintiff was no longer able to enjoy certain important and supportive relationships with people. Now, who in the hell stopped talking to R. Kelly? Why is R. Kelly so sad? Because certain individuals stopped talking to him or supporting him because the information of his visiting list and trust fund balances became public news. So he was no longer able to enjoy the pleasures of talking to certain people who are important to him. And because certain people who were supporting him are no longer supporting him. Now, defendant, I'm wondering if he's talking about Azriel. Being that information came out, he was no longer able to enjoy her conversations because she was important to him and she was supportive. And now he could no longer talk to her That's who I think he's complaining about, but she's not putting it in there because then he would look stupid. He still looks stupid. Now, Defendant Tasha K released the names of certain individuals who supported Plaintiff, publicly shamed those people, calling them enablers, and interfered with those relationships. So, because she named certain people as enablers, they decided to stop talking to R. Kelly. That interfered with his relationships and his support. Because his enablers were labeled enablers. So they decided to stop talking to him. Because they were publicly shamed as enablers. Okay, this is going in the garbage. Understandably, plaintiff's associates did not wish to be harassed or have their employment put in jeopardy because of the illegal conduct of defendants BOP Officer A and Tasha K. Plaintiffs suffered significant emotional distress as a result of the release of this information and further worried about what other private information was in the hands of third parties. Both before and even after plaintiff learned about Agent Lau's affidavit, R. Kelly spent sleepless nights distressed and confused how his private conversations had been leaked to the public and who was responsible for it. Importantly, R. Kelly suffered emotional distress because he did not feel at liberty to freely speak with his attorneys. Plaintiff learned that his attorney-client communications were not only recorded, but information from those calls were released to Jane Doe, number 5, and presumably others. Plaintiff R. Kelly did not and still does not know the extent to which his private information has been divulged publicly. Agent Lau's investigation revealed that from the period of July 15, 2019 through January 8, 2020, 60 different BOP officers had accessed R. Kelly's TrueView records, including the defendant unknown BOP Officer A. Indeed, defendant unknown BOP Officer A engaged in unauthorized access to plaintiff's TrueView records a whopping 153 times. To this day, plaintiff still does not know the extent of his damages, injuries, and loss, as the government has refused to disclose to the plaintiff information about what the investigation revealed and the precise nature of the stolen information. So still to this day, R. Kelly don't know exactly what they got and what was in the stolen information. Now, Agent Lau's investigation showed that private and sensitive information from plaintiff TrueView records became part of Defendant Kebe's content in her Instagram post on January 12th of 2020 and videos on November 7th of 2019, November 8th, 2019, and December 22nd, 2019. The information included private information about plaintiff's literacy, his medical issues, private information about his romantic relationships. At no point did Defendant Kebe reveal the identity of the person who provided her with information. Indeed, the identity of the individual who revealed the information to Defendant Tasha K remains a mystery until this day. Agent Lau's investigation further showed that unknown BOP officer, Officer A, stole plaintiff's records from the TrueView system, scanned those records, and then emailed that scan to third parties, including Tasha K. The content of those materials were published on Tasha K's YouTube channel. Defendant unknown BOP Officer A was not the only BOP officer who engaged in unauthorized access of plaintiff's private records. Indeed, Agent Lau reported that at least 60 BOP officers had made unauthorized access to plaintiff's confidential TrueView records during a 6-month period. The BOP knows the precise identity of those officers, as do the officers who engaged in this unauthorized conduct. Even after the BOP discover these rampant violations of the CFAA, they allowed the behavior to continue. The plaintiff learned, R. Kelly learned, that in and around August 4th of 2022, an unknown BOP officer made an unauthorized access to his TrueView records and obtained information about plaintiff's inmate funds. That unknown BOP officer leaked information about the balance of funds in his trust account to a journalist for the Washington Post who published an article with the stolen information provided by the defendant, unknown BOP officer. Immediately after the journalist divulged the information, the funds in plaintiff's trust account were confiscated by the United States Attorney's Office. Plaintiff was forced to hire counsel to litigate whether the U.S. Attorney's Office had the right to confiscate the funds, where no restitution judgment had been entered against the plaintiff, and he was not in arrears for paying any court-ordered fees or costs. So plaintiff promptly filed a notice of claim on November 14th of 2022 and served his claim to the appropriate federal agency for administrative settlement under the FTCA, requesting $1 million or more. By letter dated June 15 of 2023, plaintiff's claims was denied in writing by the Northern Central Regional Office of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and such denial was sent by certified mail to the plaintiff's counsel. This complaint comes less than 6 months after plaintiff's claims was denied. Okay. So now it's going to the cause of action. The first cause of action is negligence. And this is against the defendants for the United States of America, aka the BOP. Now, plaintiff repeats and realleges all of the paragraphs in this complaint as if fully set forth herein. The Federal Bureau of Prisons is a United States federal law enforcement agency with the U.S. Department of Justice that operates U.S. federal prisons and is responsible for the care, custody, and control of federal prisoners. Defendant, the United States of America, owed a duty of care to the plaintiff who was incarcerated in the BOP. The defendant stood in such a relationship with the plaintiff that the law imposed on the defendant an obligation of reasonable conduct for the benefit of the plaintiff, including protecting his confidential and sensitive information, including attorney-client communications, and to protect him from exploitation from its employees that could result in harassment and prejudice to his pending criminal cases. Specifically, and consistent with its own policies and regulations, Defendant United States had a duty to ensure that plaintiff's confidential and sensitive information was accessible to only those BOP officials with a legitimate basis to review it. The BOP had a duty to protect the sensitive information from disclosure and theft, and to protect both plaintiff from exploitation by the BOP personnel. As set out in detail above, the Defendant United States breached that duty when it permitted countless BOP officers, including unknown BOP Officer A, unlimited access to the information, the ability to download it, and the ability to sell or divulge, in which unknown BOP Officer A did when she provided private information to Tasha K. The breach further caused the publication of confidential information obtained from plaintiff's trust account, which was stolen and shared with other media sources. Even after the BOP became aware that its employees were repeatedly accessing R. Kelly's private and sensitive information without legal authority, it took no steps to prevent the misconduct. The breach was the direct and proximate cause of plaintiff's injuries, namely the release and dissemination of his private and confidential information to third parties and the public at large. The public dissemination of private communications, including attorney-client communications, interfered with plaintiff's relationships, led to harassment from the public, and caused serious prejudice to plaintiff's defense. The defendant in the United States knew, or should have known, that by allowing unfettered access to plaintiff's private information, BOP officers would access, steal, and exploit that information for financial gain or for clout. Plaintiff suffered emotional and psychological distress from this breach, where his sensitive information was used to harass him, interfere with his personal relationships, and was used to interfere with the defense of his pending cases. Plaintiff also suffered monetary damages, including but not limited to legal fees. Second cause of action, invasion of privacy, which is against unknown defendant BOP Officer, also known as Officer A, and other John and Jane Doe BOP officers, whose identities have been concealed by the DOJ and BOP, and Defendant Tasha K. Plaintiff repeats and realleges all of the paragraphs in this complaint as if fully set forth herein. So the defendant, unknown BOP Officer A, and other unknown BOP officers committed repeated unlawful and unauthorized intrusion into R. Kelly's confidential and sensitive information, also defined by the BOP. Now, the intrusion is highly offensive and objectionable to a reasonable person, although certain privacy rights are forfeited when an individual is arrested and incarcerated. Plaintiff R. Kelly, who was not yet convicted, still maintains a recognized privacy interest in his communications, visitors list information, trust account information, and his attorney-client communications per the BOP's express policies. See, so like I was saying, Levi, his personal emails, womp womp, that's not going to make it. His visitors list information, maybe. His trust account information, maybe. And his attorney-client communications, definitely. That's definitely an invasion of privacy. It's an invasion, period. But the confidentiality really has to deal with probably his trust account information, his confidentiality information between his lawyers, his communications between him and his lawyers. That stuff is important. That's sensitive information. That should have been private. All that other stuff is not. Now, this information set out in detailed fashion above was defined as private and confidential by the BOP itself. The information was not for public consumption. Plaintiff had every right to trust that his messages with third parties, his phone calls with friends, family, and his lawyers would remain under the care and control of the BOP and not published to the media for financial gain or in connection with the interfering with his right to obtain a fair trial. As reflected above, the communications were private in nature. They related to personal and family problems, romantic interests, health problems, literacy issues, and issues related to the defense of his pending criminal cases. Clearly, plaintiff's conversations with his girlfriends, Joy Savage, were personal and private, as were plaintiff's conversations with his attorneys. Simply put, the information was not public information. The intrusion caused plaintiff anguish and suffering. The release of his private communications were broadcast to the public. The communications led to the loss of important. Babe! Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. Oh, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, sorry about that, guys. Had to wake up the husband. He's got to go to work. All right, so let me continue with y'all. So the intrusion caused plaintiff anguish and suffering. The release of his private communications were broadcast to the public. The communications led to the loss of important and close relationships, conflict and chaos in R. Kelly's life, harassment and extreme paranoia. Plaintiff was isolated and fearful to communicate with his attorneys and other third parties where he knew that his private information and conversations could and did get released to the general public for mass exploitation. This violation even led to the plaintiffs having to seek psychological care in the MCC for psychological stress caused by this intrusion of privacy. Third cause of action, conversion against unknown defendant BOP officer, also known as Officer A, and other John and Jane Doe BOP officers whose identities have been concealed by the DOJ and BOP and defendant Tasha K. Plaintiff repeats and realleges all of the paragraphs in this complaint as if fully set forth here in Defendant unknown BOP Officer A made repeated unauthorized access to plaintiff's private and sensitive information. She downloaded plaintiff's private information, including email communications, recorded phone calls, visiting lists, and trust account information, and sold the information to defendant Tasha K. Defendant Tasha K used the stolen and private information for financial gain by divulging it to millions of people via her YouTube platform. The information belonged to plaintiff and was maintained by the BOP on behalf of the plaintiff. Now, but for BOP policies assuring the plaintiff that the information would not be disseminated publicly, plaintiff would never have made certain communications. Defendant's BOP officer took unauthorized control of the property and shared it with third parties, causing plaintiff serious damages, as detailed above. Now, the fourth cause of action is civil conspiracy, and it's against the unknown defendant, BOP officer, also known as Officer A, and the John and Jane Doe BOP officers, and defendant Tasha K. Now, plaintiff repeats and realleges the paragraphs in this complaint, and as described more fully in the preceding paragraphs, the individual, defendant, the BOP officer, acting in concert with one another and other conspirators, known and unknown, conspired to accomplish an unlawful purpose by unlawful means. In addition, these co-conspirators agreed among themselves to protect one another from liability for depriving R. Kelly of his rights. In furtherance of the conspiracy, the defendant, the BOP officer, including Officer A, committed overt acts and were otherwise willing participants in joint activity. The violations of Illinois' law described in this complaint, including defendant's invasion of privacy and violations of the federal computer fraud and abuse, were accomplished by defendant's conspiracy. The misconduct described in this count was objectively unreasonable, was undertaken intentionally, and in total disregard of plaintiff's rights. As a direct and proximate result of this misconduct, the plaintiff suffered, R. Kelly suffered, injuries, including but not limited to emotional distress, as is more fully alleged above. Fifth cause of action, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Plaintiff repeats and realleges the paragraphs in this complaint. The acts and conduct of the individual defendants, as set forth above, were extreme and outrageous. The defendants intended to cause or were in reckless disregard of the probability that their conduct would cause severe emotional distress to plaintiff. The individual defendants' actions and conduct directly and proximately caused severe emotional distress to plaintiff, and thereby constituted intentional infliction of emotional distress. So it was intended by the defendants to cause emotional distress to R. Kelly. It was intentional infliction. The misconduct described in this count was undertaken with malice, willfulness, and reckless indifference to R. Kelly's rights. As a direct and proximate result of defendants' wrongful acts, R. Kelly suffered injuries, including but not limited to emotional distress, and is more fully alleged above. Sixth cause of action, intentional infliction of emotional distress. R. Kelly repeats and realleges all of the paragraphs in this complaint. At all times relevant to this complaint, the defendants had a duty to refrain from willful and wanton conduct. Notwithstanding that duty, these defendants acted willfully and wantonly through a course of conduct that showed an utter indifference to or conscious disregard of plaintiff's rights. As a direct and proximate result of defendants' wrongful acts, R. Kelly suffered injuries, including but not limited to emotional distress, as is more fully alleged above. The seventh cause of action, which is the violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and this one is against the unknown defendant, BOP Officer A. So the plaintiff repeats and alleges paragraphs in this complaint as detailed above. Defendant BOP Officer A intentionally accessed information from an agency of the United States of America, namely the BOP, without authorization and sold the protected information to third parties. Specifically, Defendant Officer A accessed the TrueView records of plaintiff, a BOP prisoner, without authorization, or she or he exceeded authorization access in order to obtain TrueView records, which consisted inter alia of email communications, recorded phone calls, visitor lists, trust account information, and attorney-client communications. The information accessed and retained by Defendant Officer A from BOP computer has been determined by the United States of America to be protected against unauthorized disclosure. So Defendant BOP Officer sold, transmitted that protected information to the third party who publicly disseminated it. So a search warrant application filed by the Special Agent Lau shows that probable cause exists to believe that the defendant, Officer A, committed the offense of 18 U.S.C. 1030 A2B, which is, we know, the privacy violation. Now, losses in excess of $5,000 occurred as a result of the CFAA violation committed by the defendant, BOP Officer A. The misconduct resulted in an internal investigation by the BOP Officer, an investigation by the DOJ OIG, and both the seizure and examination of a BOP computer hard drive. Now, wherefore Plaintiff Robert Kelly prays that this court enter judgment in his favor and against defendants United States of America, unknown BOP Officer A, unknown John and Jane Doe BOP officers, and LaTasha Kebe, awarding compensatory damages, costs, and attorney's fees against all defendants, and punitive damages against each of the individual defendants in their individual capacities, and for such further and additional relief as this court may deem appropriate and just. A jury demand. Plaintiff demands trial by jury. Respectfully submitted, Robert S. Kelly, by Jennifer Bonjean, one of his attorneys. And this is the cover sheet and the information contained herein. Neither replace nor supplement the filing. So, R. Kelly paid $400 for this complaint to go through. He spent $400, guys. $400. That's a waste. That is a waste. That is a waste of paper, ink, and money. Go figure. Hey, thank you, Puzzle Pieces. I love you, Mama. Thank you. And congratulations on becoming a glamour. Everybody say congratulations to Miss Puzzle Pieces. She is officially part of the glamour crew, y'all. Right, it's going to get denied. It is. Mass exploitation, huh? Well, it takes one to know one. Yeah, hit that like button, please. Thank you, guys. I should have at least 30 likes. At least that. Hey, Aisha, what's up, mama? Everybody already knew he couldn't read. I'm just saying, right? Everybody already knew he couldn't read, all right? Like, what the fuck we exploiting here? What are we exploiting? His letters, his drama? Oh, fucking well. Now, his client, attorney privilege information, that's another case there. Now, if Bonjean proves that there was a violation of his privacy as far as especially his communications with her, he definitely could win this lawsuit against that part. He definitely can win. Definitely. Everybody knew he was dumb and had herpes. Yes, this is facts. It's like emotions make my brain cells hurt. Where Levi the cousin at? I need answers. Right, Killer? Killer! Killer! What's up, bro? Yo, I'm gonna drop the link so you can have some words. I need to know what you got to say. Are you still in the chat? Are you still in the chat? Man, anybody that wants to come up and say something real quick before I end this live, please feel free. I just dropped the link in the chat. Keller said he's locked up because of a leaked sex tape, not leaked BOP. Facts. Aisha, she made the faces. What important relationships? The one with Azriel, that was an important relationship. The one with Shorty, with Rashawn Landfair. He was still in communications with these girls until all this shit popped off. Now he don't talk to La Nena esa, what's her name? Rashawn Landfair. And now he don't talk to Azriel. That's what I think he's complaining about. Because he lost his cult. Because he lost his harem of girls. He's mad. He needs his demand and supply. And without his demand and supply, he ain't shit. Period. Levi, go back up top and think of something else. Ty, I'm trying to tell you. Cherie, I love you. Why these ninjas can't just do their time? Right, because they want to do crimes but don't want to do the time. That's the funny shit. That's crazy. And West Coast, thank you for becoming a member again, sweetheart. Hey, purple lady. What's up, mama? How you doing, sweetheart? God bless you. I hope you're doing well, mommy. LaShawn. What's up, LaShawn? I miss you, chula. All right. So you guys didn't say too much in the chat. Oh, Caleb. What's up, Caleb? Your device is not connected, Levi. You got to connect your device, Levi. Come back again. Coming in to speak. We'll catch the replay. Okay, baby. She just came in to say hi. Levi, you want to come up here? Come back again, brother. Kella, if you want to come up here. Puzzle pieces. I don't know where you came in at. Oh, there goes Levi.
Levi! You're talking about $400. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Me and my cousin have spent $400 on a shot of cognac. That ain't nothing. $400. What you mean? What you mean? $400.
Well, I don't know about $400 on fucking como se dice. Levi, you gotta mute your
Oh, I got bad reception?
Your YouTube, yeah. I'm gonna speak again. Do you guys hear me now? Levi. Okay, he had to come back out. Levi said we could spend $400 on a bottle. Why not spend $400 on a paper? That's okay. R. Kelly got plenty of money. He good. You got plenty of money, right, Levi? Are you helping him out with this? Did you provide him with the $400 to do this shit? Let me know. Puzzle pieces, you coming up? Yeah, baby. Hi, Tiger. My fat boy. Levi. You was a funny brother. I cannot with your ass. You know I still love you, Levi. Even though I'm fucking blocked on your channel still. Still to this fucking day I'm blocked. Still. I'm still blocked. You better get your shit together because I'm about to block your ass. Oh, I'm double right now. I'm echoing, y'all. Am I echoing? Oh, much better? Okay. Levi?
Am I echoing?
No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, man. I done seen that man buy $500 shots of cognac from him and his cousin. You mean $400? That ain't no money to us.
Right, you
That
rich.
That ain't no money to us. Hey, my cousin's the king of R&B. Talking about $400. What? Hey, listen,
Right. He can wipe his ass for $400.
believe that, especially when he gets out and do this versus battle, R. Kelly versus everybody. It's gonna be worldwide pay-per-view. Man, gonna make about 100 million in one night. But let me get to this. 'Cause I know you got to go, and I have to go because I'm in demand right now. Right now, I'm in demand. I have a large interview coming up tomorrow. Since the announcement of this Tasha K lawsuit, I'm getting emails and calls from everywhere. You know, I'm a hot item right now. They want to interview me. You heard me? So, but I figure I'll come over to one of my favorite bloggers' channel and speak to the little people for a minute. No, I was joking. So how you doing, Miss Diva?
I'm good, Levi. I'm
Robert
hanging
Keller.
in there.
Robert Keller's listening. Let me say this to you. I want to speak to. I'm talking to Diva
Yes.
and Robert Keller only. It is so funny how you two guys will dumb yourself down for your audience. And I say that because of this. Both you and Robert Keller are very intelligent individuals. And you know it is more to this lawsuit than what you're letting on. Robert Keller understands it is more to this lawsuit. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all been listening to Levi for the last 5-6 months. And I predicted all of this, but I don't come into this for self-aggrandizement or credit. You feel me? I'm not even on that. But at the end of the day, Robert Keller's on the screen. Listen, man, y'all know this is a means to an end. You know there's a much greater, bigger picture here. But in order to appease and please your audience, you dumb down, you pretend that, this is just a little frivolous lawsuit when you know it's a bigger picture. And I'll let Mr. Keller speak.
Hold on. Wait. Mute yourself, Levi. Yeah, there was an echo. Listen. Levi. Yes, you have been speaking about the lawsuit and the emails and the BOP and all that shit, right? Yes. Okay. We all have. Now, my thing is, yes, his private emails and communications were stolen. We all know that. Yes, that was a violation. Yes, we can all agree on that. But there's only some of this that's going to go through. And the only thing that's really going to go through, if he does win anything, is going to be because his attorney-client privilege communications was stolen.
Which means what?
Which means that he can win the lawsuit only on that causation.
Okay, now I have a simple question for you and Mr. Keller. Because you're a very intelligent woman. I heard you 15 minutes ago say the same thing. You said, well, the attorney-client privilege thing. Both you and Mr. Keller are well aware of the fact that I don't presume to speak for Miss Bonjean. Let's be clear on that. This is my own personal opinion. When I speak, you understand what I'm saying? I'm theorizing. This is coming from Levi and Levi only. You both know. Well, I'm not going to say you know. I'm going to ask you. If it can be proven through this civil lawsuit, the civil litigation, and confirmed through either deposition testimony, which is under oath, or admissions made by certain individuals, mainly Tasha K,
Right.
and
I
through
think Tasha K is going to go into a deposition.
that's fine. But through the production, the actual production, that information being produced as it pertains to that one area that you just spoke about, you put your finger right on the area, and that is the attorney client privilege aspect. That violation, if it occurred, what happens after that, Mr. Keller and Miss Diva? Tell me what happens after that.
Go ahead, Keller.
The keyword is if.
Mute Levi.
I'm sorry.
Keyword is if it occurred. I don't believe it occurred. I believe what occurred was dissemination of information outside of the BOP confinements. I believe that happened. Whatever penalty that come with that should take place. Unfortunately, they can't fire her because she retired or write her up. But if he can get some money out of it, by all means, get as much as possible. But he got some restitution to pay. But as far as the attorney-client privileges, he waived that right when he started communicating via core links or any type of electronic communication in the BOP. It's a disclaimer that you have to acknowledge before you get to type one character that this does not protect you for any client attorney privileges. You have to seek alternative means if you want those type of privileges. So I don't think client. What's up?
I just want to say one thing on what you were just saying. Bonjean had explained that at the time when this went down, he was not convicted yet. He was only a detainee. So therefore, for him being a detainee, she's stating that his privacy should have been more protected because
He
he
has no
wasn't yet convicted.
I get what she's saying. I don't
This is
care if
what
he was
she's
a
saying,
detail.
right?
I know what she's saying. I don't care what she said. I'm talking about the disclaimer that he has to acknowledge. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm talking about the disclaimer that he has to acknowledge. If he's using any type of communication in the BOP, whether he's convicted, unconvicted, waiting trial, if you're using any of those communications, you waive any protection for, and they let you know that, goddamn, you don't have no privacy.
Yes.
But the problem is dissemination. That's for me. That's the problem, and I hope this lawsuit put stricter, because it's not the first time this shit happened, and I hope this lawsuit put in place stricter protocols to prevent anything like this happening again. And let me get this to you.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Well, you can take it to me. It's in the private chat.
Okay. Let me say this. If you can mute your mic, hopefully I'm not echoing.
Yeah, he echoed. Somebody echoed.
Am I echoing right now?
No, you sound good.
Okay, great. Let me say this. For one, I have listened to Mr. Keller for these amount of years, and I'm very skilled at listening to vocal tone. I can tell when someone is afraid. I can tell when someone is upset. I can tell when someone is happy or elated. And I can say this much, and I'm not going to be long because I know me and Keller can talk all night. I can tell from my observation that Mr. Keller is upset, and I sense a little fear in Mr. Keller. Let me tell you why. When you say there's a disclaimer, I want you to understand this. In our country, in America, there are always disclaimers everywhere. Listen to me. When a man or a woman, especially women and men, walk into a dressing room at a department store, there's a sign there. And that sign says you cannot bring the merchandise into the dressing room. However, does that mean if a person does bring the merchandise into the dressing room, tries on clothes, leaves out of the department store, that the police in America, in our nation, can actually stop that person in their car, conduct an illegal search of their vehicle and their person under the presumption that that person just shoplifted? Yes, that disclaimer is there. But Mr. Keller and I, we kind of become, or I become somewhat irate at Mr. Keller when he's not willing to accept the truth as it pertains to the various topics that we discuss. I'm being logical. I'm being very calm. Mr. Keller, you know, Miss Diva, you know, and everyone listening to this know that there's not a disclaimer in America that trumps the United States Constitution. There's not a government building in America that which falls up under the jurisdiction and the auspices of the American government. I don't give a damn if it's the White House, Watergate. When you have a constitution and you have a disclaimer inside of a federal institution, the Constitution trumps that disclaimer in that institution. And when you're dealing with an American citizen who had not been convicted, given and granted the presumption of innocence, and you look at the fact that his communications were stolen, and Miss Diva pointed it out. This is the real focal point. Mr. Keller understands this is the real area. This is the sensitive area. And that is, and I'm going to say it on here, this is my opinion, not no one else's. Was Jane Doe number 5's father? They're going to play this on every damn YouTube channel tomorrow, off of Divas Live, because I'm saying it. And I have a big interview coming up tomorrow, and I'm going to expound and expand on it further. The number one question, the big, giant, pink elephant in the room, in the courtroom right now, is, was Jane Doe number 5's father issued the private communication between my cousin, Robert Sylvester Kelly, and his attorney? If that occurred, and by virtue of that, those communications were used to influence his daughter, who was a star federal witness in that New York case. Mr. Keller, you could talk about disclaimers. You can try to deflect. You could try to avoid what I'm saying. Because it doesn't come down to me, you, or Diva, or anybody on YouTube. It comes down to the court of law, the Constitution of the United States of America, and what Miss Bonjean is doing so skillfully. This is my observation, not her opinion, my opinion. This is what I'm theorizing. What she is doing so skillfully in removing the walls, the obstacles to get to the truth of one question, and that is, did Tasha K provide the father of Jane Doe number 5? This is my opinion. When she sent that communication to him, we know she didn't hand it to him. They're in different states. When she sent that communication via the internet across state lines, did those communications contain the private conversations between Robert Kelly and his attorneys? I speak with my cousin often, spoke to him yesterday.
Well, you know what?
Listen, no, and I'm not going to say no more, but I'll be quiet and listen to you guys.
I just want to say one thing. Bonjean has stated that the communication between the attorney, allegedly, is what she was saying. she thinks that was distributed to Jane Doe number 5.
And if you read it, she says, and others.
Hey, Levi, turn your device down just some. I think that's
I'm
what
sorry.
the
I got
problem
this
is.
mic. I'm
Yeah,
bad.
somebody got an echo.
Turn it down some.
Okay.
I think it's reverb.
Is that better? And she said, Miss Diva, she said distributed to Jane number 5 and others. That's the legal way she put it.
She only said at that point with the causation, she was only talking about Jane Doe 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Diva, turn yours down some. Maybe that's you.
Is it
Turn your
me?
thing. Turn it down some.
All right, is it
It's a
me?
major reverb. I think we good now.
Do you guys hear me now?
It's still.
I can hear you very well. But instead, if you can please stick to what I just said, Mr. Keller, let's not get out the scope. Let's stay right where we are. No, my man, I just talked for 10 minutes and you're going to say that. You heard me what I said. I said the big pink elephant in the courtroom was that, okay, let me give me 30 seconds, Miss Diva, and I'm going to be quiet. We know from Tasha K's mouth, according to Tasha K, I gave those communications to both fathers. Okay? So we know by her own admission, she says she handed those communications to Jane Doe number 5's father. I want y'all to listen to me. And I'm not going to say
parents.
She said, no. She said father. She didn't say parents. She said the two. I'll find it and send it to you. She said the two fathers. Okay, now there is a desire out here in this R. Kelly YouTube sector to try to place Larry between Jane Doe number 5 and the father. Tasha K has already cleared it up. I gave it to the father. So why would he need Larry to give it to the daughter, for one? Now, for two, and I don't want Mr. Keller to get off this mark. If, in fact, she gave Jane Doe number 5's father the private conversations between Robert and his attorney, and that somehow ended up in his daughter, the star witness's hand, you tell me, according to the United States Constitution, what do you think the outcome's going to be?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna respond to that, but I need to respond to a couple things too. But I am going to respond to that. Diva, I sent you a link in the private chat. Can you open that link up? Levi, you can too. You want to look at it? I want you to go to where it says background. Scroll down to background, and then go right up under that. And if you want, you can put it on the screen.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, I got it. Let me share my screen.
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit.
Espérate.
Can you zoom?
All right, that's about as big as it's gonna get.
Okay, cool.
Background.
No, go down a little bit. Go down. Keep going down some. Because I want to get to this disclaimer.
Okay.
Scroll down to warning. Here we go. Right there, warning.
Okay.
Right there. Can you start there?
Yeah. Warning. This computer system is the property of the United States Department of Justice. The department may monitor any activity on the system and search and retrieve any information stored within the system. By accessing and using this computer, I am consenting to such monitoring and information retrieval for law enforcement and other purposes. I have no expectation of privacy as to any communication on or information stored within the system.
And then responsibility, real quick. Can you read that portion?
Responsibility. I must abide by all terms prescribed in Bureau of Prisons policy regarding my use of TrueLinks and electronic messaging system, which I acknowledge having read and understood. I understand and consent to having my electronic messages and system activity monitored, read, and retained by authorized personnel. Boom. Wait. Now here's the key word.
I got that. I got that. I just want you to finish.
Authorized personnel.
I know. I got that. I got that. I
Now
just want you
she's
to finish.
saying, Bonjean was saying that these people were not authorized. So
Okay.
now
Okay.
Bonjean needs
Diva.
to prove.
Real quick.
Bonjean needs to wait. Bonjean needs to prove that. She needs to prove that.
It's the dissemination is the problem. But real quick, finish reading because I'm trying to.
I understand and consent that this provision applies to electronic messages both to and from my attorney or other legal representative, and that such electronic messages will not be treated as privileged communications, and that I have alternative method of conducting privileged legal communication.
In the footnote, right under that, and then I'm gonna respond. An inmate must click I accept to get past this screen to gain access. Yeah. Okay. So
Who's Metro card?
Hit me real quick, cause
give me a second. I gotta go on mute.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh my gosh, she ain't hit me. Back on. I was gonna say. All right, so clearly we see here that when you're using these communication, you have no expectation of privacy for one. Second, there is no.
This is a problem, bro. No way.
Let me
I gotta stop you right there because you just outright.
No, you can stop. You don't have to stop me.
Go ahead.
Let me respond. Okay, so with what we just read, you are considering that when you're using this, you have no expectation of privacy, for one. Second, attorney-client privileges must be used by other methods other than this. It doesn't protect you with this. And you have to acknowledge this before you can even get to the next screen. So with these communication electronically, you have no attorney-client privileges, first of all. To begin with, you never had them to begin with. So you can't violate something that you never had initially. Now, the problem is his communication was disseminated outside of the BOP. That's the problem. It should have never left the system. That's the problem. Due to that, he should get whatever he can get. I'm for that. If he can get $50 million, he should get it.
I agree, Keller.
But when it comes to saying attorney-client privileges was violated, you can't violate something you never had. And he acknowledged that. I don't have this. To type one sentence, you have to acknowledge this.
I have to go, but I wanna say this, please, with all due respect. You know, it's sad, brother. I've always seen you as a very intelligent man, but in life, bro, you have to learn when you lost, you lost.
I want him to win.
Allow me. No. Listen, bro. Listen to me. I'm talking to you. In life, when you lose, you lose. As a child, when my football or my basketball was on the court or on the field, and my team lost, I was never the kind of child that would say, well, I'm taking my ball home. I'm taking my football home because y'all not choosing me or I want to play in the next game. If I lost or my team lost and they don't choose me for the next game, I sit to the side and they can play ball. I find it sad that you're the kind of individual. This is not a personal attack. This is just an observation. And I can guarantee you as a child, you were the kind of child who will say, well, I want to take my ball home. Because you are what we called back then as children a sore loser. Now, I say that to say this. I say that to say this. For you to sit and have Miss Diva read that disclaimer and try to draw from it other than what it said in order to be the winner, in order to say I'm right, it is a flaw, no disrespect. It only highlights your character. Bro, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
Let me hear it.
You said that according to that, it says you have no expectation of privacy.
That's what it said.
Okay, allow me. I didn't cut you off. Allow me to speak. When we call a bank, that is a federal institution or backed by the feds. When someone robs a bank, the state police or the local police don't show up. The FBI gonna show up. When we call our financial institutions and you hear that disclaimer, that recorder saying this call is being monitored, they're telling you that it's being monitored for their institution, for just in case you say, okay, we're on the same page, but you use the word, it's dissemination. You use the word dissemination.
Right, that's the problem.
Okay, no.
Disseminated out of the BOP.
Allow me to explain, and I'll be quiet and give you the equal
time.
We on the same page. We're not. I'm gonna tell you why. You said the problem is the dissemination. No, listen, sir. If someone takes Miss Diva's financial bank records out of that bank, shares it with some scammers, her credit card information, and she hands it to someone who uses that to defraud Miss Diva, you can't say, well, the person disseminated her information. No, the person stole her information and gave it to an outside party. See, I've studied you long enough to know you use words to dilute the situation.
Okay,
and if you don't have someone like me,
piece of information and gave it to the outside party.
It wasn't dissemination.
Wait.
It was absconsion. It was absconsion.
Not me.
It was absconsion. Dissemination doesn't. I think when he mutes, then I'm not echoing. I believe when Robert Keller mutes.
Yes. You probably still have your YouTube on the background.
Not me. Let me see. Am I still echoing?
Are you echoing? Mute.
If you guys mute, now I'll be quiet after I say it.
Echo.
Yes.
No, Diva, mute. All right. Do you hear echo?
Do you hear an echo?
Now I'm on mute. Diva, you unmute.
Okay. Do you still hear an echo?
Okay. Do you hear me now?
I can hear you guys.
Yes, Levi.
Is it Jesus Christ? I'm sorry.
It's Diva.
I close all.
Is it me?
We're only here when you come off mute.
I'm unmuted right now. Am I still echoing?
Okay. Is it echoing still?
No, you're good, Levi.
Okay, great. I think I had another app open. Here's the deal.
Words
are very important. Words are very important. So when you say it was the dissemination, it takes away from the criminal aspect of what.
That's what Bozine said.
Okay, bro. I'm saying to you that
Bozine is explaining the dissemination.
Okay, how it was disseminated exactly, but Bonjean is also explaining that it fell out of the institution into the hands of some private public parties. Okay, so in short, and I'm gonna close this out and let you guys respond. At the end of the day, Mr. Keller has still not answered my question. Mr. Keller refuses to even speak on Jane Doe number 5's father allegedly receiving those communications. Mr. Keller
will
listen,
speak
let me
on that.
say
You
this,
just
bro.
cut me
Okay,
off
let
before I
me say,
got
I'm gonna
to
make
it.
it. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm done
I
when I
told y'all I
say
was
this.
not.
It's very simple.
Diva, excuse me. Diva, it's when Mr. Levi is on, is that everybody echoes. So he probably has another device on,
Yeah,
and that's
that's
why
what I
it's so
said.
check. It's Mr. Levi. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Levi. I just had
Okay.
to come say this.
All right,
Yeah,
so we
yeah, it
just go
should be
all
not
mute. We
echoing.
just all mute when people talk. We probably should do that anyway. That's how
Yes,
you fix that.
I agree.
Is
That's how you fix that.
is it still echoing? This mic. I'm gonna just switch mics
Everybody
if
mute.
not, or
Everybody mute
earpiece.
except for Levi.
After it's all said and done, in its finality, everyone's gonna see this. If Jane Doe number 5, this is my opinion, received the private communications, the constitutionally protected communications of between Robert and his attorney, the case in New York goes away. It's done away with. You know it, Mr. Keller. I know it. We can dance around. You can try to deflect, get away from it. The bottom line is that if that man heard Robert speaking to his attorney and gave that to his daughter, and as a result of that star witness turned and testified for the prosecution, by virtue of the fact that his personal communications between this man and his attorney-client privilege is one of the pillars of our right to due process in America under our system of jurisprudence, and you know that. Attorney-client privilege is above, it is right there with a legal search and seizure. Illegal search and seizure and attorney-client privilege, those are the pillars by which our justice system stands. So deal with that, and I'll be quiet. I want you to comment on that and that alone, because you know and I know if that occurred and it can be proven through the civil litigation, the case is going to go away. It's going to spill over into the criminal case in New York, and through her, the tangible evidence of that being produced is over with in New York, Mr. Keller, and I'll be quiet and listen.
You know you ain't gonna be quiet. Why you lying to me?
I doubt that highly, Levi.
But let me respond until you cut me off. We all heard R. Kelly say. I'm still
Mute, Levi.
okay. Go on mute. Okay. We all heard R. Kelly say.
I am muted. I am muted.
All right, well, we're good. We all heard R. Kelly say. Can I? We good. Okay. So we all heard R. Kelly say. It's on the record. We can all go back and look at it. Listen to it. That Jane found out some information, communication that he that he had with Jocelyn. And she got jealous. Not the attorney, but the girlfriend. And she got jealous and ended up cooperating. This is on the record. We heard him say that he did multiple interviews. Secondly, again, he never had attorney-client privileges to begin with when it comes to using the communications in the BOP, the core links or anything similar to that. You acknowledge that I don't have attorney-client privileges. Diva just read it. We just saw with our own eyes. You have to acknowledge this. So he never had attorney. They say if you want attorney-client privileges, you have to use an alternative method other than this. So if you're using this, you don't have that. So he never had attorney-client privileges to begin with. You can't violate something that you never had to begin with. Even if it, okay, so get that out the way. So she found out this information from the father or through whoever. She found out the information somehow, some way through these communications being leaked by this BOP officer. The information allowed her to cooperate with the government, not to lie. Now she went on there and said, now I got this information. I'm gonna show your ass. I'm gonna go on this stand and I'm gonna tell every lie I could possibly think of to get you locked up. Now we talking something different. In fact, we saw this play out in real time. She said, you lied to me. You not gonna make it out of this shit. I doubt if you even make it to trial. We saw it play out in real time. Got on the phone. Let me get the feds on the phone. I know what storage at, goddamn it. You know the address. I know where the skeletons is at, goddamn it. So she started snitching on this nigga. She went to protecting him, not telling where the skeletons at, to finding out some information, now snitching and giving over information that they can use against him. That wasn't fabricated, that wasn't made up. This was actually tangible information in this storage that they got from her. And the reason that they got from her, because she had a change of heart off of whatever information she saw that opened her eyes to no longer protect this piece of shit ass nigga. That's what happened.
You see how you got to get personal, or how you're upset. See how you have to. You see, you got to get personal. Yeah, because you're upset. You're upset. That's because you're upset.
Let me finish. So you wanted her to continue to lie for him and protect him. She said, R. Kelly had all us lying for us. That's why he don't want us to watch the documentary. Remember that?
Right.
You wanted her to continue to do that and keep her eyes blind. That question, that makes me character your characteristics.
Right.
My boy, that make me character your characteristics. Because you wanted her to continue to lie and not hand over any information and not cooperate with the evidence with the prosecutors and not be flipped. She got flipped, bro. It is what it is. She got flipped. The government do not need Tasha K. So let's put it this way. The government clearly got access to all his communication. They don't need Tasha K for that. If they wanted to show her that, they can do it themselves. They can bring on and say, look what this nigga doing. They watch First 48. Watch one episode of First 48. We want to see the tactics that they do. One episode. But you and so many others want him to continue to be protected and not testified against. And all she did was flip. Nothing illegal. You don't like the way she flipped. But she, at the end of the day, then you mentioned, I don't know how to take an L. I'm taking the L. My nigga, if taking the L mean R. Kelly is locked up as we speak, I'll take that L all day, every day, my boy. I like that L.
Poor man.
Hey.
Poor man. Poor man.
And after this, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Well, you don't have to wrap it up.
I got
Poor Kitty. You know what?
Poor man. Listen.
I like that L, boy. That L feel good.
Let me address this. This is what I'm saying. I should have been out of here 20 minutes ago, but when I speak with Keller, here's the deal.
Right, I already know. That's why I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to leave.
Yeah, me too. I got to go too. If y'all listen, first of all, I know where I'm at, okay? When I come over here, I know, like Snoop Dogg said at the war show, y'all ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg. We know where we at. You heard me? I know where I'm at.
I got love for you, Levi. I just don't like your antics. It's a difference.
Yeah, I got love for you too. That's why I came on here. But first of all, if you all listen, and I'm only saying this for those who are going to revisit Divas Live, Mr. Keller is making emotional arguments. Everything that I've said thus far has been legal
It
arguments, and that's
upset
cool.
me a little bit because you taking up for a person like that. It do upset me a little bit, but I apologize.
Okay, I'm glad you admitted that at least,
I
that you're
mean,
being
we all
emotional.
get emotional. We just gotta catch ourselves when
I
we
wouldn't
get
say I'm
emotional.
emotional. Here's legit how I feel. I feel like you
We're
too intelligent.
passionate. We're passionate.
I feel like Levi on some real shit. You too intelligent to be coming up with this type of rhetoric. That's what be fucking frustrating me.
Right. It's
Bro,
On
but
some
check
real
this
shit.
out. Check this out. I'm glad you said that because I want you to understand this, brother. Rhetoric is
It's bullshit ass
rhetorical.
rhetoric. You too
Okay, why don't
intelligent
you
for this
listen?
shit.
Rhetoric is like spitting in the wind. It comes, hits the fan, it comes back to you. Rhetoric is absent of real substantive action. When you say, I come up with rhetoric, you must understand something, bro. Right now, my cousin's voice is about to be unmuted because of WAC 100. You listen, whether it happens in the States and worldwide or just in Africa in certain parts or whatever, I was instrumental in putting that together. I am not a person of rhetoricalness. I am not the kind of person who believes in verbal masturbation, where I speak and I do things that don't impregnate shit. Okay, I believe in getting shit done.
When you said your cousin, I had to realize you speaking to a point of view where that's your cousin. So I think that's why I disconnected. I'm not looking at it in that angle, and I got to look at that you're speaking from this my cousin. So maybe that's what it is.
But you should give me some credit because from day one, I've never tried to defend him in a defenseless position, and I came on the scene from day one saying that I am not addressing, nor do I agree with most of my cousin's moral decisions. I've said that to him countless times. He understands that. He understands that when I embarked upon this, that my objective was to address what I felt were huge improprieties with the law. And I've stuck to that. So when you say I defend him as it pertains to my interpretation and perception of the miscarriage
being your
of justice.
cousin have no influence of you defending
It has all influence because I love him.
Okay, I agree.
But yes, sir. It has all influence because I love him. But at the same time, you ain't never heard me sit up here and agree with a relationship between an 18-year-old and a 40-something-year-old. I don't do that. I keep it real as I can keep it. You understand? But that's cool. My point to you, sir, is that at the end of the day, you say when a person is an inmate in a federal facility that they have no right to privacy. And that
No. That's not what I said. I said when you're using those communications.
Absolutely. Now, that's fine if you take that position. I say that the Constitution of the United States of America trumps all of that, for one. For two, you're right. They have no right to privacy when it comes to communications in-house. In-house. Let's check this out. Check this out. When we have all sat in on the Zoom calls
we're on the same page. You don't even know it, Levi.
I'm gonna tell you. Check this out. When we all sat in on them Zoom calls from the court, it says that these communications cannot be disseminated publicly. You will be penalized if you try to.
That's why I said the problem is with the dissemination.
But check this out, though. When I speak with Robert damn near 3-4 times a week, one thing I notice, it says you have a call for
disseminating, you playing, recording that shit, you playing the back.
If you would listen to me, my nigga, when it comes to federal laws, when it comes to these laws, it is clear. When I take those calls from my cousin, it says you are being recorded on this is a federal call, and they let you know that you're being recorded. But there's no disclaimer stating you are not to record, you are not to disseminate this conversation between the inmate, yourself, and the public. This is why Suge Knight right now is doing a podcast. This is why Robert was able to speak and to WAC 100 and these different things. Now, if that were illegal, it would let you know. So everything that they say is specific and detailed when it comes to federal communications. We know this. And what you said is true, but you're saying it in such a way where you want to
I think you just misinterpreted it. I think you just misinterpreted it.
No. You want to convince people that he has no legal standing if his private communications between his attorney and himself, bro. You ain't even answer my question all night. All night you ain't answer my question. I asked you a simple question. No, I asked you a simple question. No, you did not. I asked you. You have not mentioned Jane Doe number 5's father yet. I asked you a question. No, well, let me ask you again. If that man, Jane Doe number 5's father, received the private communications between Robert and his attorney, what bearing, what impact do you believe, considering his daughter was a star witness and he allegedly gave those communications to his daughter, what impact would it have on a New York case? You don't want to address that.
Okay, so I addressed that. I addressed legally. I like the way I responded to it, but I'll respond. I'll say it again. It had the R. Kelly said himself that Jane heard communication with his girlfriend, not the attorney, and she got mad and jealous. Not the attorney. It's on the record. We got it. We can go back and pull it up. But even if it was the attorney,
leave R. Kelly.
Even if it was the attorney,
if Harvey Weinstein's conversation between him and his attorney were leaked to one of the witnesses, listen, and that witness and her father, we know, had been in communication with the prosecutors and the government. What you must understand, bro, my dude, go ahead.
It's funny you say that because what I was just reading you was case law of somebody saying that core links was violating his attorney privileges. And they said it wasn't. It's funny you said it because the very thing I gave you was case law saying of another case.
Levi, did you grab that? Did you grab that link?
Yeah, grab it. It's in the
yeah, I'm gonna read the whole thing.
Thing in the thing.
I'm not in a position. I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone.
That's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
I'll revisit.
I was just mentioning that he never had no attorney-client privilege to begin with, Levi.
I'm telling you, that is the most asinine, absurd thing anyone could say. Anyone that would listen, bro. No, you can read it 1,000. You can read it 1,000 times. That it has no bearing on the Constitution of the United States of America, and I'm going to say it again. You sound insane if you think that you can. No, because your bank says the conversation and the transactions are in-house, and you cannot fault the bank. We are monitoring when you go into the safety deposit box room. We're monitoring your conversations. We're monitoring the transactions. But when you go to the teller, but that means that a bank employee can take your goddamn information outside of the bank and give it to some scammers. That's how you sound. You sound insane. What you just read is in-house.
You mixing the two up. You mixing the dissemination up with the attorney-client privileges. That's what you're doing. Now,
no, I'm not. You're trying to do that.
Listen to me. The dissemination is wrong.
Sir,
he should win off of that alone.
Nigga, you know this ain't about no money, okay? You know that this ain't about no, that you know it ain't about no damn money. Tell me what it's about. What is about?
This is her motion, second motion to compel. She trying to find out some more information for some other shit.
Okay, now let's leave. So we can part ways agreeing on that.
Okay.
And then we'll meet up at the next juncture when certain things come to fruition, which y'all have to understand, Mr. Keller and Ms. Diva. Most people on YouTube are only privy to 2% of what's really transpiring. I am only privy to maybe 7%. Okay. Robert is only aware of maybe 70%, 30%. Maybe 60%, 40%. He needs answers to. So, for the sake of respect, being respectful to each other, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. We will be able to
This mean
reflect
that
back.
you're not gonna talk about these text messages no more?
Bro, check out my interview tomorrow. I'm about to blow the whole goddamn YouTube up on a very prominent station tomorrow. Check out my interview tomorrow, nigga.
Take your ass back
I'm
up
the
top,
shit.
nigga. I knew it.
Levi,
I'm up top, boy. Listen.
Levi, can I say something
Yes,
about
ma'am.
your question? Mira,
Yes, ma'am. Anything.
mira.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Listen,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I honestly think that even if Jane Doe saw those emails, saw the client privilege shit, heard audio between him and his lawyer, whatever it may be, that is not going to overturn R. Kelly's conviction in New York. It's not. It's not. Because you have to remember, Levi, Jane Doe number 5 is not the only Jane Doe. Now, what could probably happen, if maybe anything, is maybe they could throw out her charges and start a new trial. Maybe that could happen. That's a if. If.
None of this shit affect her charges.
I honestly think it won't, but
Nothing.
I'm just
Got
saying,
nothing to do with her charges.
just to please Levi, okay, and let him understand that, okay, so if the girl's charges decide to get thrown out because of these emails, so you think, right? This is what you're thinking. So that means that the whole case is going to get thrown out. That's not going to happen, Levi. You crazy.
That Rico need to be dismantled for him to walk.
Right. It needs to be redone in order for him to walk.
They need to dismantle the Rico. Outside of that Rico, he ain't walking.
If y'all can hear me, can y'all hear me? Can you guys hear me? What Diva just said is my prayer. It is my listen. I will never, ever, ever. I will come off of YouTube, and that's my word. I know Robert Keller's gonna say this.
Please, dude, take your ass back up top, nigga.
Excuse me. Listen to me. I know Robert Keller's gonna reference this in the future. Listen. If my cousin, God willing, is granted a new trial in New York and lose with Bonjean at the helm, I will come off of YouTube and be done. I'm telling you. If he's granted by God's grace.
He already lost with her at the helm.
Say it again.
He already lost with her at the helm.
No. Hold on. Listen, bro. Let's back up. I said in New York, with all of the malfeasance, legal improprieties, the covering up of evidence and facts in New York, the fact that Jane's father and mother were not front and center in that damn courtroom, I'm telling you, we'll cross the Chicago bridge when we get to it. If by God's grace, if he's granted a new trial in New York, it's a wrap. That woman is brilliant. And I'll leave it at that. But we can go back and forth all night. The reality is what Mr. Keller said, is that he agreed to this. And I respect that at least you said that much. That there's a greater picture here. That it's not about money. This is my opinion. I can't speak for Ms. Bonjean. It's not about money. This is about something else. And
it's a motion to compel. It's a second motion to compel.
Well, no. But then you got other legal
motion to compel.
But you have other legal avenues too, like habeas corpus. You feel me?
That got to go back. That got to go back to
I got to go to like the Supreme Court and shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying what I'm saying, that you can't just say motion to compel there are other forms
Well,
of
the reason
recourse
I say
or
motion to
redress.
compel is she filed one before because she wanted information and she never got anything.
Yes.
Now I believe she's filing this to get as much information as she can. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I mean by this is the second motion to compel, and she's just doing it a different way.
And I concur, but I need for you to explain to the people that as these things unfold, as it relates to the legal redress, that there are other avenues that can be pursued other than the motion to compel. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think that's what she's doing now.
Right.
She's doing something different to get the same thing that she wanted.
Right, Keller. Right,
Okay.
Levi. Listen, at the end of the day, Levi, yes, there are avenues that R. Kelly can try to find loopholes and things of this nature. He's got a good lawyer. She's gonna try her best to throw all the kitchen sinks that she can at the wall, see if anything happens. And if nothing at the end of the day happens and he exhausts all his appeals and the Supreme Court rejects his shit, then it is what it is at the end of the day. He just has to sit in there, do his time, and that's it.
Well, we are in absolute agreement that there are other forms of redress, and that once if those are exhausted, then the legal process has played out, and that's that.
Right.
But
And it is what it is
I'm
at
in
the
it.
end of the day. But,
Okay.
good luck.
Well, I'm an eternal optimist, Diva, and I know what's going on. I know a little bit more, but we'll see how it plays out. And I'm interested in revisiting this as this lawsuit unfolds.
I'm glad this shit got you not talking about the text messages, so I'll take that.
Yes.
Hey, check out my interview tomorrow and say that, okay? Check out you gonna watch my interview tomorrow.
Levi, I got a beef with you, bro. On
Go
some
ahead.
real shit, you better find out why I'm not unblocked from your channel.
Right.
Miss Diva,
You know that
you see
I
bullshit.
don't know who the fuck blocked me, but you better pull that person by their ear if I'm really your frenemy. And
definitely.
and also there was a question thrown out to you from Ty. Ty
Mhm.
said, what are you and your cousin gonna do about Debo threatening R. Kelly's life?
Well, let me say this. I don't speak on the terrorists, as y'all know. I don't have. Let me answer a question though. I don't speak on those who are irrelevant. I really don't.
All right, so I'm gonna drop
These
down and listen.
okay, these individuals
Thank you,
are not
Keller.
on. They're not in the stadium. They're not on the field. They're not. They're just irrelevant. However, I would answer her question like this: This is America, Ty. This is a country of laws, not a country of men. And if anyone thinks that they can threaten a federal inmate's life and walk the streets freely, I would say to Ty, stay tuned. This is a country of laws, not a country of men. I am I'm extremely legally astute when it comes to certain things, certain aspects of the law. And I'll say this without speaking on anyone, because I don't mention them terrorists. I will say, if anyone thinks that they can threaten a federal inmate's life with the threat of gang terroristic death threats in America, I would ask that you all revisit the YSL, Young Thug. I would ask that you all revisit all of these cases involving gangs. When you introduce gang into the equation, it becomes serious. When you introduce your affiliation with a gang into the equation, when you're talking about having someone touched or killed in a federal facility, I'll say to Ty, remember my words. Get your popcorn, your soda, whatever you drink or whatever, sit back and watch how this play out.
Listen, in my opinion, listen, Levi, this guy is not going to do shit. He's just talking a lot of shit just to be a hot shit out on the streets. That's all it is.
Okay,
I mean,
but
I get it. He's upset. I get it. He's upset. And he's mad at everybody or anybody, whoever was trying to take him down. Yeah, no. And he wants his revenge. So he's just talking. He's just talking out of emotion and
well,
bullshit. Yo.
I
Don't
understand.
nobody, shouldn't nobody take none of that shit he's saying into account, because he really
I
just
understand.
shit.
I understand, but I'm approaching this from a legal perspective.
He's trying to act, yo, and then he's trying to act like I'm part of that bullshit. I'm not part of your case. I'm not part of that. None of that bullshit. Yes, I
Miss
reached out
Diva,
to prosecutors. Hold up, Levi. Yes, I reached out to the prosecutors in R. Kelly's case, but I reached out to Miss Geddes, and what I reached out to her about was about the bullshit that was going on with Sylvia and Just Jazz and Debo on how they were presenting to themselves out in the court, out in the field, at his trial, and how they were doing different things, harassing people and doing stupid shit. Other than that, that other shit he's talking about with his case, that's his case. I ain't got nothing to do with that. He just keeps
Miss
thinking it's me and I'm a part of it because I showed the fucking video on my fucking live. But like I said, that video was shared to me. I didn't have that video. It was shared to me. I showed it, and it is what it is. It was part of the case. So fucking what? Whoopty fucking do. What you so mad at me about? Get the fuck out of here. You're a crazy ass terrorist. Like you say he's a terrorist, these people are terrorists.
Yes, Miss Diva, but I don't speak on these individuals because they're irrelevant. But I'll say
I
this
don't
again.
either. I try
I'll
my
say
best
this
to
again.
not even talk about none of the bullshit. I just use my community wall to say what I gotta say and keep it pushing. Because I'm a grown ass woman. At the
After
end of the day, I'm not a fucking child. I don't have time to be sitting here arguing with little boys. Get the fuck out of here.
after those threats of terroristic gang violence were made against R. Kelly,
Right.
I'm here to tell you that it has now become a moot issue. That individual, nothing else to talk about. That's a done deal. That's all I have
Right.
to say. And you feel me? It's not that is a done deal.
I feel you.
You understand? That is a very serious situation when you introduce gang into anything. You understand? See, I can say to you, I'm gonna do this to you, I'm gonna do that to you. No, there's a difference when I actually say I'm a part of a gang. I'm a part of an organization that's inside of the facility. So stay tuned for the next week or so, and you'll see the results of what I'm saying. You feel me? Don't even worry about it. That's a distant
We're still waiting on R. Kelly to be free from February 14th of 2021.
Hey, Miss Diva. Hey, Miss Diva. I might be off a little bit when it comes to predicting when my cousin's coming out. But I can tell you this.
Crystal ball and your coco pelado.
I understand. But in this situation where someone uses gang threats of terrorism against a federal inmate, I can predict when that individual is going in. So just sit back for a couple of weeks to relax, and you're going to see what I'm saying. You feel me? Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me on. Yes, make sure you watch my interview tomorrow. I'm going to post it.
Love for you, Levi.
Same here.
You know
all
what?
respect.
Your opinion, this is my thing. You know what? Your opinion is your opinion. That's your cousin. That's how you feel. Your emotions. It is what it is at the end of the day. I don't hate R. Kelly. I need people to really understand this. I do not hate R. Kelly. What I hate is what he did. I don't know R. Kelly to hate him. Okay? I actually adored him at one point up until I seen the fucking tape back in 2001. So, and now this trial has helped me to understand his abuse and my abuse. Because he was abused as a child. And I can empathize with that, and I can sympathize with that because I've been there. So I know what it is to, as a child, see something you're not supposed to at a young age and then become hypersexual, because it happened to me. It happened to me. So I can empathize with R. Kelly. What I don't and I can't is the fact that he became an abuser. Because the same thing happened to his little brother. And his little brother didn't do the same shit he did. But I get that trauma because you want to take control of your situation. So as you get older, have sex with a bunch of people, you start having sex because you feel the need to. You have to. It's something that is urging you to do it inside your body. I don't know how to explain it. But when you go through those feelings, you kind of feel like a nympho. Listen, there was one time, here I am as a 16-year-old child, okay? I was abused, and because of that abuse, I became hypersexual. So at this age, I tried to stop having sex because I noticed that I was out of control, okay? So what I did was stop. And I stopped for 7 months, Levi. And let me tell you something, after that 7th month, because I wasn't having sex and I was having thoughts about it, my hands started shaking. I mean shaking. Like I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with me? I need to have sex. I gotta fuck. I gotta fuck. Who am I gonna fuck? Who am I gonna see right now? I need to see somebody. I need to see somebody. Then you know what? I went into my bathroom and I nutted all by myself. And don't you know my hands stopped shaking? This is trauma. People don't understand trauma. That's why I say when people talk shit about a victim's trauma and don't even know what trauma is, you people are out here degrading victims, but yet R. Kelly was one. And he needed help. And he still needs help. And now he's in jail going through paranoia because he don't know what the fuck is going on. He don't understand what's going on. Why? Because all these enablers lied to him. Through all these years, gassed him up and lied to him, made his head swollen. He became this person he didn't know how to be. And it went out of control, out of his control. But that's why he became a narcissist, to control his shit. And he likes to create chaos because he has to make sure everybody follows the leader. And that's just what it is.
I understand. And I kind of laugh.
There's a lot of psychological stuff to this stuff. And people don't understand the psychological side.
Yes, and let me say this, because you know they record everything I say on the open side.
Of course.
You already know that. So
high five.
Exactly. And I stand on whatever I say. While I'll say this much, that I say allegedly, because that's the position that I take. I understand that you on that side. And I also say that the things that you've said, your passion, the very demeaning, I mean, y'all done called my cousin everything but a child of God. Jesus Christ. Y'all done called that man every word in the book. But understand something, Diva. Understand two things real quick. For one, I don't get offended. And I was able to extend the olive branch to Larry and Oak Cove and have these conversations because I know the man personally, right? So I don't get offended when y'all do that. I ain't tripping, for one. For two, what you must understand is that if I thought taking a position this is America. Take your position. I ain't never been that kind of person. You understand? I can sit and talk with a white supremacist and have a meaningful conversation with the white supremacist as long as it is a respectful conversation and a respectable conversation at a common table of conversation or discussion. But I want you to know that if I ever thought that your words, your passion, all of that from you was coming from a place of hate, I wouldn't be on your channel right now speaking with you. I understand something about life and people as an observer of people. Miss Diva, if I handed you a glass and I took a gallon of water and poured it in your glass, at some point you'll say stop, because your glass, that receptacle, is not able to hold the gallon. You have a glass and you have a gallon of water. What I mean by that is that it is the capacity of an individual. You cannot get blood from a turnip. If I saw you as a vile, low-down individual, I wouldn't be on here right now speaking with you. So I observed way back, even with all of your attacks against my cousin, even against me, Okov attacking me, I ain't tripping because I can handpick those that I can have a conversation with because I understand that what they're saying, the position that they're taking is not coming from a place of hate. Give me 30 seconds and I'm done. I was in a barber shop once, and all the guys in a barber shop were talking about gay people, gay dudes. They were just talking about, calling them fags and having a conversation. And I joined into that conversation. And I talked about how I disagree with that lifestyle morally. I was a little bit more or less abrasive how I was speaking, but I took part in that barbershop with a bunch of niggas. I'm a nigga, but I never called them out their names, but we were talking about gay guys. As we're having a conversation and it kind of went left where they were really going in on them, I said, understand something though. I told 7, 8 guys in that barbershop, I said, hold on. I said, understand something though. They are human beings for one. For two, I am a humanitarian. While I may not disagree, while I may not agree with their lifestyle, I said we were at a mall. The barbershop was inside of a mall. I said if a gay guy was running through this mall being chased by a couple of guys, before y'all can look up, you will see me in that goddamn hallway out there in that mall with this broom. It was a push broom, beating the hell out of anyone who would attack a gay person. There was a young man in a chair. He was getting his face shaved. And he pushed the razor back and he rose up in the chair. And he said to me, he said, thank you. He was gay. He said, while y'all were talking about us, I was about to leave and I was really hurt. But what you just said told me how you felt or how you feel about those of my sexual orientation. It wasn't coming from a place of hate, because you just said you will go out there with that broom and beat the fuck out of anyone that would put their hands on a gay person. And he said, I want to thank you. I appreciate that. He was a young dude. I walked up to that young guy and shook his hand and said, bro, all I can say to you is that I apologize for all, this is a barber shop. We're a bunch of niggas. It wasn't right for them to be using the fag and all of that, bro, but this is a barber shop. For two, just know I meant every word that I said. Brother, take care of yourself. I love you as a brother. Just take care of yourself. Gave the guy a hug. He stood up. I gave him a hug. And every nigga in that barbershop put their heads down, because I wasn't raised to attack people. I wasn't raised to disrespect people. I wasn't raised to treat people like shit. I'm a respectful person and a stand-up guy. That guy didn't even know. I didn't know that nigga was gay in that chair, but I said what I said to them niggas and I meant it. So as I was not speaking from a place of hate, I've never seen that in you when you speak about my cousin. You say some crazy, you say some hard shit, but I ain't like, well, I don't be tripping. I be like, well, Diva, I see Diva as a decent person.
Listen,
I don't.
you should never take it personal, because I don't mean it towards you. Like I said, it's not that I don't hate that I hate him. I despise the shit he did. And
I understand from your perspective.
Everything
I
was
understand.
alleged
That's your
until
perspective.
the trial was over, and now he's convicted. It's no longer alleged. A lot of it was proven in court, so a lot of it is factual. Yes, he did abuse these girls. It's about abuse at the end of the day, bro. It's about abuse. It's about
That's your
minors,
position.
about abuse. Even
That's
if,
your position.
come on, that's abuse, bro. Would
That's
you
your
actually?
position.
You don't think that making a person eat shit out of a cup is abuse?
First of all, that's alleged for one.
No, that's
Let-
not
let-
it.
we- no, we- no, no, oh, well, no. Listen, let me explain this to you.
Levi, did you read
Listen,
those exhibits that were part of the trial? Come on,
I'm
Levi.
not. Listen, we're not going to go back. Listen, we're not going to go back and forth.
Levi, you smarter
Okay,
than that. I know you heard all
no.
the transcript. I
No,
know you heard all
no.
the evidence that was pulled out. I know you
Listen,
know, bro. Come on.
Miss Diva, if you would listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
The improprieties that took place during that trial, I could never, ever, ever say anything that came out of that trial. I would be able to say or give credence to anything that came out of that trial. This is why I want him to have a retrial. However, Miss Diva, when you talk about minors and this, that, and the third, you must, in all fairness, include. See, let me say this to you. I don't agree with a grown man sleeping with an 18-year-old. But when you talk about minors and abuse, you must first clean out your own closet. And what I mean by that is you must first stand and say, in any event, whatever transpired, no, the greatest abuse that you and I or anyone in this R. Kelly YouTube sector has witnessed with our own eyes is a grown-ass man and a grown-ass woman, a grown-ass father and a grown-ass mother who would send their 17-year-old daughter into a hotel room with a man and tell that 17-year-old to tell that man that she's 18.
Now that's
the
not
abuse.
abuse. That's not abuse.
Shit.
That's not abuse. That's negligence.
Shit.
That's
No,
negligence.
that's not abuse.
That's not abuse. That's negligence.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
There's a difference. That is negligence on the
Let
parents.
me ask you a
The
question.
parents were negligent to send their daughter to a man who allegedly had issues with minors.
Let me ask you a question then. Is it abuse?
Problem. That's
Is it
negligence.
abuse? I'm asking you a question. Is it would you
Abuse
see
is
it?
when they used to whoop her ass to
Sir.
make her sing.
Ma'am,
That's
abuse. Abuse. Listen. Is it abuse for any adult, any father or mother to send their child because they want money? Girl, you ain't got to work at McDonald's. I tell you what, I'm going to give you some fake ID. No. Let me finish. Let me ask a question. You tell me if it's abuse and then we can hang up. Here's the deal. If you or any parent says to their 17-year-old child, daughter, girl, you can make more money at the strip club. I'm going to get you some fake ID. Go in that club and shake your ass. Is that abuse?
No.
It's not? Okay. I think everyone listening to me would know Levi spoke the truth. It's not abuse to facilitate your child getting on a stage naked, shaking her ass in front of grown men.
That's not abuse. You want to know what would be abuse if the father grabbed her by her fucking hair and then dragged her and slapped the shit out of her and said, you know what? If you don't fucking do this shit, I'm going to whoop your ass for more. That's abuse.
I want you to go
Negligence
Google.
is putting her in a predicament that she did not need to be in. She
abuse is not always physical.
And she did not have to be there. But they got her there because they wanted monetary gain from their daughter. And they were praying that maybe their daughter would eventually marry R. Kelly. And maybe later down the line have some children. And then they could be one big happy family and everybody's rich.
Okay. We'll end this.
That's my point of view on the parents.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I respect your opinion. Now listen, we'll revisit this.
Money so that they can have their daughter rich, so that they can live good lives, so they don't have to work because their daughter could eventually buy them a house. Their daughter could eventually marry R. Kelly. The more money, the merrier. You know what I mean? Like that was what their agenda was for me.
Okay.
Other than that, all that other shit that happened in between those in those doors in R. Kelly's house happened between R. Kelly and those girls. And
Okay.
that shit had nothing to do with the parents. The parents just put her in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay. We'll revisit this later, but in the interim, I would like for you to go study the definition of abuse. Abuse is not always physical.
No,
Go
it's
study.
emotional, it's verbal.
It could be absolutely. It could be a lot of things.
I
It could be a
know
lot of things.
about abuse, Papi.
And
I've done research.
yes,
Like,
ma'am.
help me.
And if the prosecutors had chosen to charge the parents, they would have charged them with neglect and abuse and sex trafficking their daughter. Those three for sure apply.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Think about it.
They weren't sex trafficking their daughter because there was no money exchange.
Wait, excuse me, miss.
There was no sexual gratification for the parents.
Okay, listen. So you trying to tell me in the text message? Are you trying to tell me in the text message you did not read when they told their daughter, ma'am,
to get close to R. Kelly so that, like I said, she could marry him one day and have children?
Did they instruct their daughter?
It's plain as
Did they instruct their daughter?
It's plain as day.
They
wanted her to be with him, and they wanted her to become a star at the same fucking time. That's fucking plain as day. There ain't no arguing about none of that.
Did they instruct their daughter to tell him to deposit money in this bank account before they left Florida?
What?
Did, in the text message, does it say you need to tell him if he's leaving town with you before he leaves Florida, you have
That's because they were looking for reimbursement because she had scheduled a couple of performances that she had
for real?
And that was in the text message.
Okay, now, first of all, are you trying to tell me she was being paid $5,000 a performance?
I'm pretty sure she was a young lady who was making a little bit of money.
Okay, I'm out. Okay. I'm done. Do you know that some of these...
She was doing venues. She was doing little venues. She was doing shit at nightclubs and stuff like that too.
I'm going to ask you again. Do you believe that there was a scheduled performance for Jane Doe number 5 that they had invested $5,000 into and Robert needed to reverse it?
They got the kids' uniforms, the background dancer stuff. They had to have people for their lighting and their sounds. Yeah, what the fuck you think? You don't know what R. Kelly does? Don't he get people for his wardrobe? Don't he get people to set up the scenes for his shows? Don't he get people to do the lighting? All that shit costs money.
Sweetheart, we're not talking about Sierra. We're talking about Jane Doe number 5. What are you talking about?
Who was out there starting to perform? She was out there performing. She actually has videos on YouTube of her doing venues.
If you can produce to me, if you can produce to me, if you can produce, you just came up with a conspiracy theory. You came up with a conspiracy theory. You show me a contract that she had an engagement that week that they paid $5,000 to.
To Angelo, I probably would be able to get it from him.
You wouldn't be able to get shit. I'm gonna tell you why. Because in the text messages, he couldn't even afford to pay for her goddamn dress. The mother said she couldn't afford to go to a spa. She said, your father won't even help me pay for your dress.
Spend money.
Okay? Listen.
Spend money.
The woman could not even go to a spa. The daughter said to the mother, you need to put away $25 a week so you can treat yourself to a spa. But you trying to tell me they invested $5,000 in a goddamn show? Come on, Diva. Come on now. Stop it now. Stop it.
God. Okay, maybe not $5,000.
All right.
$3,000. I mean, damn.
All right.
What the fuck? $2,000 a week. I mean, really? It's
Zero.
just an estimate, you know?
Zero.
So, but like I said, whatever it was, they wanted to get money. Period. It doesn't matter. They wanted money. They were money hungry, and they wanted their daughter to shine at the same time. Period.
Well,
Point blank.
let's keep our finger.
His case has nothing to do with that. His case has to do with trafficking young girls back and forth to have sex, which is illegal because they're minors. And also, the women who were adults in the situation had wound up contracting diseases, and they were also exploited.
Okay. No, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at as if. Listen, I'm not.
This is what he's fighting. He's not fighting text messages. He's fighting sex trafficking charges.
Okay. Let's keep our fingers crossed that he has a retrial in New York and then we'll get down to the bottom
Maybe
of
he has a
everything.
retrial in New York, and instead of him getting 30 years, may he get 15.
Hey, he's already done what, 5, 6? I mean, come on now. All right, sweetheart, listen.
Now. And then he still got 20 from the other one, so let's not forget that.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, Diva, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure you're not blocked. You see, I ain't even going live, but when I go back live, I'll make sure you're not blocked. I'm gonna make sure
go
tonight.
to the community and see if I'm blocked.
Will do. And I enjoyed the exchange.
Me too.
And watch my interview tomorrow, right?
I always watch your shit, but I can't get into your chat. So
no, I'm not interviewing on my channel. It's not going to be on my channel. I'm interviewing somewhere else. So I'll make sure you'll watch it.
Are you gonna stream it or share?
Yeah, I'm gonna share it on my channel. I'll share it on my channel.
Okay, on your community
so I'm looking. Yes, ma'am. I'm looking forward to revisiting this conversation soon. And you have a wonderful evening.
You too, puppy.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. All right, guys. That was Levi for Kelly. Y'all see that, he's the cousin of R. Kelly. For those who don't know who he is, he's the Dub D cousin from 2001. Yeah, he's the cousin. So I enjoyed you, Levi. Thank you for coming over. Keller, you already know, bro. And I am out of here, guys. Please don't forget to hit that like button, okay? He said, his lordship is going in on Levi. I want to force my wife. Why is the lowest common denominator a factor next? He will use. Right. I love you, Levi. Levi. Yo, you be spinning the fucking people's brains, It's okay. It's all good. That's why, what is it, Levi? What's your line? The game is to be sold and not told. All right. So, guys, thank you for anyone who donated to the channel. Thanks, guys. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying my little AI videos. I'm going to continue to doing that. Right now, something happened with my AI app. I don't know what is going on with it. It did some shit now. Now it's not producing the videos for me. I made a complaint about it. They're trying to fix the situation. If not, I'm going to see if I try to get another program. But I'm going to have to probably pay for this damn program. The program that I have now is not that expensive, but I'm going to have to get one that, does a better job. And guys, I love y'all. And good to see all of y'all in here. And those in the bushes, I love you guys too. Thanks for stopping by. At the end of the day, this lawsuit can go somewhere. It might not go anywhere. We'll see what develops. I put an alert, so I will be following it. And hit that like button on your way out, okay? And for those who are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button. And after you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. Put it on all, okay? So you can get every single thing I do every time I drop it. Whether it's a video, whether it's a live, whether it's short, whether it's a community wall, make sure you hit that notification on all. Okay? All right, guys. And your girl, Diva Divine Light, is out. Peace.
You are watching Diva Divine Light.
You can fuck with me if these red bottoms, these bloody shoes. Hit the scoop, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick. Cut a little nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Now I gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now, that means I don't fuck with you. I'm a boss, you a worker, bitch. I make bloody move. Now she say, gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. Just a party, I'm there, I can play. I be in and out, got back so much